welcome to Salesforce Live at Connections. I am here with Neil Sharma, CEO of DEG, one of our platinum partners. Thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first of all, this is a huge conference and DEG is really at the forefront. But for some people that don't know, what is DEG?
So DEG is a full-service digital agency that serves digital marketing, commerce, and collaboration solutions for a wide variety of brands, largely in the retail and consumer goods space, but also financial services and energy and utility as well. And as well as .org in this parlance, or not-for-profits. So what we provide is full featured solutions that merge creativity, strategy, and technology together to advance a customer's goals and the brand's objectives.
So, in other words, as a full-service agency, you really are taking things from ideation to fruition.
That's exactly right. So, we're one of the few players in the market that can actually conceive of the messaging and the concept and the strategy based on a data-driven insight, write a whole roadmap out, and then go deliver it.
So someone gets to work with you personally for a long period of time.
That's right.
They're lucky people.
That's what I think. That's what I think. And a great team. We have a great team.
And you have over 300 people across the nation.
Yeah, across the globe, actually. We have about 15 in the Philippines, and we've got the rest stateside.
That's amazing. And where are you based?
We're based in Kansas City, the heart of America. And we've got about a couple hundred people there, and then another 100 or so scattered around. We've got offices in Denver, in Pittsburgh. We've got folks in LA, in Texas, New York.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so we are very proud that DEG is a platinum sponsor at Connections, but also that you are really part of our Salesforce Ohana. Sure. Tell me a little bit how Salesforce has played into your tremendous success.
Yeah, you know, I think that notion of Ohana has been actually something that DEG has always had from the beginning. We actually talk about ourselves as a family internally at DEG. And so what we really did early on was embrace this ecosystem, embrace this environment, and integrate it into almost everything that we do. So we're there to ensure clients' objectives get accomplished, but the enabler for that has been everything that you see around here. And at the root of everything, whether it's at a conference like this or whether it's at our offices, are people. And the people and the relationships we've maintained with Salesforce over really a decade plus have been pretty much the most fulfilling elements of our work here.
So every channel, every cloud, every moment, that is one of the core, that's the backbone of what DEG is doing right now. Tell me about that statement.
What it means is an obsessive commitment, not necessarily to the brand, but to the brand's customer and the context in which that customer finds themselves. Whether it is their state of mind, whether it is where they are in the world. So the goal is that we're not only trying to market or reach them, we're not only trying to communicate the brand's messages, we're trying to market to the moment that that brand and that customer intersect. So that can be at the store, that can be in the car, that can be waking up and wondering about your day, that can be being hungry, that could be all those different elements that customer and that brand intersect. Our goal is to market to that particular moment. Now, the channels by which you do so, the every channel part, is the idea that we got to find the best way, the right way to get to that customer in that moment. Could be the mobile phone, could be a web experience, could be an e-commerce experience, could be a text message.
That's a lot of channels.
That's right, and that's what we live in, right? So when you go through a course of your day, you'll watch a broadcast television ad, you'll hear one on the radio, you'll get a text message, you'll see an email, right? You'll go on Facebook and see an advertisement, or you'll see an organic posting. So our job is to find out what are the right ways to reach the customer at that point that they're intersecting with that brand, and that's what we do.
So you have to be completely data obsessed.
That's exactly right, because the only way to understand how to be relevant to you is to know a lot about you.
Right.
And to know a lot about you is really expressed in the data that we can pull together.
And it's not in a creepy way at all.
No. I mean, it's actually in a value-added way. Look, a lot of what's going on about all the data protection elements are absolutely important. Privacy is extremely important.
Right.
But there's so much value that's created by providing relevant messages. What spam is irrelevant messaging.
Right.
Right? Relevant messaging is useful, it's valuable.
It's something we want to see.
Exactly right.
It's that moment that we are on our phone and we're like, we're at a conference like this.
That's exactly right.
And we're getting reminders to go to the sessions that are personalized for us.
That's it. Or you're on Amazon, and the feature that almost everybody uses on Amazon is people who search for X also search for Y.
I know I do.
It's extremely useful. We follow that path, right? We want to know.
I absolutely do.
And that's all data-based, and that's okay. It's valuable, it's protective of people's privacy, and building on those things to create contextually relevant interactions in the moment is what we do for a living.
So one thing that we're really proud about at Salesforce is that we are helping you do this.
That's right.
And not just what we are now at Salesforce, but what Salesforce has had come to be part of our Ohana. So I'm talking Marketing Cloud, I'm talking Commerce Cloud, I'm talking DMP that are newly part of the Salesforce Ohana.
That's right.
And they've been part of your company for many years.
They're part of our DNA from the very get-go. We were exact target partners almost from the very beginning. We were Demandware partners almost from the very beginning. Now they're parts of Salesforce's family, and we are, with them, encompassing everything that they're bringing to the Salesforce world.
So I think that people may not know, when you say from the very beginning, you're talking Commerce Cloud 14 years,
Marketing Cloud 14 years.
14
years.
Yeah. And you're not just partners with them, but you're actually the best partners.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. We've been one of the most decorated partners over the history of the Marketing Cloud in particular, and through a couple of acquisitions, we bought some of the leading quality providers on the Commerce Cloud or Demandware, and these have been some of the greatest additions to our family.
Right.
And what it's doing is exactly what we're talking about. The Salesforce, when people ask why we're partners with Salesforce, there's 100 reasons.
Platinum partners.
Platinum partners with Salesforce, that's exactly right. There's 100 reasons, but one of the main reasons is the completeness of vision that Salesforce has provided, right? They have added the Marketing Cloud plus the Commerce Cloud plus DMP, right? Plus all the Advertising Studio, Social Studio products underneath, on top of a core data environment that Sales and Service Cloud have always been a part of. And we're getting involved in Community Cloud too, so.
So you're pretty much using all the clouds?
Yes, cross-cloud. We're the true cross-cloud partner.
Because you're also using Service Cloud for your social customer care.
That's exactly right. So social customer care for us was one of the best ways we could take our Marketing Cloud prowess and tie it to the traditional strength of Service and Sales Cloud at Salesforce. And what social customer care does is automatically integrate the idea that someone who opens up, has a problem on social media, expresses it on social media like so many people do, can automatically open up a case on Service Cloud to be responded to, oftentimes through automation, but responded to by their teams. So it's kind of a neat interaction.
Like going back to completely full service. And
That's
we're so happy to be part of that.
Thank you.
But so noting again that you have been a part of the Commerce Cloud family and Marketing Cloud family before they were Commerce Cloud and Marketing Cloud.
Yes.
This is still considered a new event, Connections, but it is an evolution of multiple other events of Exchange and of Demandware's
Demandware's Exchange.
Sorry.
And then the original
and
Connections.
And also Crux, which
that's
is now
exactly
DMP,
right. That's right.
their event Data Matters.
That's right.
What does it mean to you to have all of those events in one place and bringing it all together here at Connections?
It makes a ton of sense to have done it this way. We couldn't be more excited that Connections, which has always been that's kind of been always our favorite conference, is back. And we couldn't be more excited to be a part of it. It's kind of new evolution.
Right.
So I was just passing somebody in the hallway, and they're very focused on the Commerce Cloud. They don't do a lot of cross-cloud work like we do. And they had to convince each other this was actually Exchange. And I'm like, oh, no, it's Exchange and more. Right?
But
Plus,
wait, there's more.
There's more, right, exactly. And so Connections, which has a soft spot in every DEGer's heart, has been the conference we always loved because it was about the right size, as this conference is. Big enough to matter, but small enough to still be kind of intimate and allow you to bump into people you haven't seen in such a long time, whether they are even competitors of yours that have become friends over time, or whether it's clients, of course, and giving them an opportunity to have real access. And then, of course, our Salesforce Ohana family members as well. And so we love this because, Dreamforce is an amazing conference, and it's a spectacle, and you should go because it is one. But it is big.
It's big.
It's super big. This one is just that Goldilocks size that allows us to just kind of really connect in an authentic and sincere way with everybody that has come.
And you have some amazing things happening on site as well.
Yeah.
CNX Trivia.
That's right. So we try to take a play on HQ Trivia that everybody's playing, or Cast Show that everybody's playing. And we're offering prizes for folks to answer questions about digital marketing and about Chicago and about Salesforce, et cetera.
That's awesome.
And we have a host sitting right there who's answering the questions.
Wow.
Right. Not as annoying as the HQ host, but really actually much more charming. Chicago's got great talent for hosts. This guy's great. This guy's great.
Well, thank you so much. We are so happy to have you as part of the Ohana, and you're doing amazing things, and
Thanks
really,
for saying so.
we're glad to have you. And thank you all for watching Salesforce Live at Connections, and stay tuned for more great content.
Well, you just laughed it off, it was all okay. And we're all flown on the king, and we'll all float on the king, and we'll all float on the king, and we'll all float on anyway. Well, I bet you make you together.
Hello, Connections. Welcome. My name is Mark Abramowitz, and I'd like to welcome you to transform your customer experience with the #1 service platform. First, we have our safe harbor statement, the most exciting slide you're going to see today. Please make your buying decisions based on our currently shipping products. And with that, I would like to introduce Bill Patterson, our Senior Vice President and General Manager for Service Cloud. Take it away, Bill.
Thank you, Mark. And good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? Good. What a concert last night, huh? It is amazing to be back here in Chicago. You know, I started my career working in the contact center in Oak Brook, Illinois, about 12 miles from where we sit today. And so it's always great to come back to Chicago, be back home a little bit. Today, I want to start by really thanking you for being here. We have one of the most fundamental opportunities and exciting opportunities ahead of us, which is to transform customer service in the age of digital intelligence. And so for those of you that are our customers that are already committed to our platform, thank you for being here. For those of you that are still evaluating what Salesforce can do for your business, I want to thank you for being here to learn, to connect with one another, and truly to be inspired for what we can do for you as we work together into the future. Because it is clear we live in a completely new age, an age where customers are connected like never before. You know, when you think about the products and services that we use every day, increasingly so, it is the experiences that become the differentiation of those products. And increasingly so, customers expect those experiences to become tailored to their needs. And yet, when we think about the world of customer service and support, the same degree of innovation we've put into our products hasn't always made its way into our service centers. Today, when we think about what service organizations struggle with, they struggle with siloed systems, disconnected applications, applications that were built in the last age of computing. And when we think about what customers need today, they need to be engaged on their terms. This is something that marketers have long known, that you can't just build a one-size-fits-all approach to market to customers. So why have we tried to do the same with customer service? This is how we need to be thinking about into the future, about transforming service and really delivering a much more personalized, high-touch affair to keep our customers happy with the products that we offer them. And that's truly what Trailblazers do. You know, today we have some amazing showcase customers for you to hear from, to learn from, and be inspired by around how they're transforming service for their own organizations. People like Marriott, who it's no longer just about your actual stay, it's about the experience of making it into that stay. People like Autodesk, who are using the power of self-service solutions to bring a highly technical audience and embrace, the power of their platform like never before. And DoorDash, the way that they're combining service into their everyday application experiences means that the blending of their product and their services are starting to occur. This is what Trailblazers are doing around what we call transformational service. And now every customer has the opportunity to do that with Salesforce. When you think about what does it mean to deliver transformational service, it's about helping you connect your customer service teams so they're no longer siloed in the back office. It's about delivering intelligence into the hands of your agents so they're more productive and can drive lower economics around how to handle the needs of your customers. It's also about making sure that your service becomes personalized, helping you to deliver tailored service experiences for every customer that you engage with. And then lastly, let's face it, we all are budget constrained. We all know that we can't just endlessly, start to innovate our businesses without considering the costs. And so what we're gonna help you do and help you with in this world is help you get better scale around your service experiences, your service processes, and help you automate your business like never before. These 4 platforms for change really represent how we are helping customers around the world really differentiate their businesses, just like you saw from Marriott, Autodesk, and DoorDash. And so we're gonna structure our keynote on these platforms today, and we'll walk you through with great demonstrations and showcases, not just why to transform, but how to transform with Salesforce. And to do that, you need an amazing platform to really power that transformation with. And this is our goal at Salesforce, is to be the #1 platform for customer service and to focus on your customer success. We have gone beyond just simply delivering a help desk. In fact, our approach is about delivering a clear and consistent and unified approach to deliver customer service, field service, self-service, and digital engagement solutions all in one platform so that you can really drive more consistency and scale like never before. And we use the power of the platform, everything from Einstein to Trailhead, the things you see at this conference, really to power that differentiation to help you get the most out of this offering for your business. But it's not just about platforms. Platforms are only as solid as the ecosystems that surround them. And Salesforce also has the #1 ecosystem for service. When you think about what an ecosystem needs for service, it means that you power impressive scale. We power over 315 million service interactions every day on our cloud. We also generate over 2 billion AI predictions in the cloud to help make your businesses more productive and drive operational efficiencies like never before. And this is what's leading to people like Farmers, IBM, Humana, driving impressive growth around their businesses by putting service at the center of their future. Now, we're gonna take you through all of these chapters today, and to do that, I'm gonna turn it over to my friend and colleague, Sarah Patterson, to walk you through the first pillar transformation called connected service. Sarah?
All right. Thank you, Bill. So the first thing that we want to talk to you about is connected service. And I spend my time out on the road talking with a number of customers, and that's what I've spent my time here at Connections doing, is meeting with a lot of different customers, and they've all talked to me about how difficult it is to provide this connected experience when your data is sitting in all of these different systems. And I know that we've all been on the receiving end of one of these experiences. And I'm actually in the middle of one of those right now. So I'll tell you a little story. I'm in the middle of trying to find a great Father's Day present for my husband. Now, he's been doing an amazing job. I've been out on the road for the past 4 weeks traveling. So he's at home with our 2 little kids, and he works. So this is really hard for him. And I want to find an incredible product for him to make his Father's Day. For Christmas, I bought him one of those, like, go back in time and use your Atari products so he could experience those games that he grew up with. But the problem was, we didn't open this for a couple of months. We've got 2 little kids, and when we did, it was broken. So I went online, I started the return, and I sent it off. And we have yet to receive that new product back, right? But flash forward to last week, and I go onto my email, and all of a sudden I'm getting marketed to by this company. And they're saying, hey, you know what? We've got this amazing new product coming out. Why don't you buy this for your husband, since you already bought him one of our products before? This is the problem that we all face, right? When we have these disconnected experiences. I feel like this company doesn't know who I am as a customer. They're not helping me provide a great experience and really wow my husband on Father's Day. This is the problem that we want to solve for you. This is where Salesforce is doing the work to connect all of your systems so that you don't offer this experience to your customers. We help you to connect your sales, service, and marketing, your commerce solutions, so that you know what your customers have bought, what you're marketing to them, and you know when they're having issues or questions with those products. And the heart of this experience in the world of service is Service Cloud Lightning. This is where your agents sit with our agent console. This is where we pull all of this information together, and we allow you to configure this for everything your business needs to help your agents provide an incredible service experience. And with MuleSoft, our recent acquisition, we make this even easier to really give your agents every single piece of information they need to provide an incredible service experience. MuleSoft comes with pre-built configurators so that you can, with clicks, not code, actually connect any of the other systems that you need to pull data in from and serve that up to your agents. This is things like product warranties, return information that your agents need to provide a truly incredible service experience. But you, our customers, you keep pushing us to innovate more and more. That's one of the reasons that I love meeting with you all, is you're always telling us it's never enough, and this is great. So that's why I am so excited to announce here at Connections, Service for Commerce. I read a study a couple of weeks ago that said 80% of your customers will go back to your commerce sites when they have a question, when they're checking out online, when they need support. They're not going to your support channels. They are going back to that commerce site. This means it's more important than ever before to put all of that information at your agent's fingertips. And with Service for Commerce, we are helping give your agents that complete view. So if you've got a customer that is checking out online, your agent can see the products that are in the shopping cart. They can see what they've purchased before, and they can even order on your customer's behalf. This is incredible. But we all know that you can connect all of your systems, all of your data to provide this truly connected experience, but you have to go that last mile. You've got to put all of these tools into the hands of every single one of your employees, even your mobile workers. And that's what you can do with Field Service Lightning. This is our mobile platform. So whatever your mobile worker situation, whoever you have who's out there meeting with customers, if you're in retail, it's your retail execution arm. It's the people that are in your stores meeting with customers face to face. If you're in healthcare or life sciences, these are your home healthcare workers that are traveling and meeting with patients on the go. If you're in financial services, it's your wealth advisors and managers. You can now put into the palm of their hands all of the information that they need to be able to help their customers no matter what questions they have wherever they are. So this is how we are helping you to provide this truly connected experience for your customers. But once you have connected all of that data and are providing this seamless service to them, the next step on your transformation journey is to infuse intelligence, is to help use intelligence to help your company scale. Now, I want to do a quick survey of everybody here in the audience, so bear with me for a moment. Raise your hand if you see AI as a strategic opportunity for your company over the next year, the next couple of years. All right, I'm seeing most of the hands here are raising. Now, keep your hand up if you have an AI strategy. If you know how you're going to roll AI out, what problems you're going to use it to solve. All right, look around. Most of the hands went down. You are not alone. A recent MIT study showed that while 80% of executives say that AI is a strategic opportunity for their business, only 25% have an AI strategy. Think about that, 25%. And it's no wonder. You know that when you roll this out for your business, you have to get this right. Well, this is what we have been spending the past couple of years doing, is meeting with customers, talking to them about what AI can do for their business in the world of service, and helping them develop their AI strategy. So seeing this study, we said, okay, we've got to start sharing all of our learnings with our customers. And in the world of customer service, we have seen that the AI strategy really comes down to three things: automate, assist, and train. So no matter what company we have met with, we have found, and maybe this seems just very plain simple to you, but it was an aha moment for us. Every company has a range of different questions they're helping their customers with that range from those that are really simple to those that are really complex. Now, you take those really simple questions that your agents are getting asked over and over. That's where AI can automate on your behalf. It can answer your customers for you. Then, your agents are going to be spending more of their time on increasingly complex questions. This is where AI needs to assist your agents to help them find the answer faster for your customers. And then finally, because your agents are spending more of their time answering these increasingly complex questions, this is where you need to do the work to train your agents. How do they work with AI? How do they handle a seamless transfer from a bot? And then, how do they focus more on the EQ, the soft skills that are really going to help set your company apart in this new world? Well, these are the products that we have been building for you. We have products to help you automate, right? This is where we have Einstein Self-Service. If you've got our self-service portal, Einstein is now going to be able to serve an answer up to a customer when they ask a question. More than that, we have bots. I cannot talk to a customer today without getting into a bot conversation because you all recognize the power of this to help your service scale. Well, I'm so excited to announce that if you are a Service Cloud customer, if you have our Unlimited Edition, if you use our Live Agent web chat, we are now, as of this week, including bot conversations in those licenses. You get 25 bot conversations per license per month with that version. And we're doing this because we recognize the power of AI to help your businesses scale. And what's better is that these are built on the Salesforce platform. They're tapping into all of that customer data that you have in Salesforce, and they are built using our UI and our UX. So you don't have to hire people to design these and to implement them. The second piece here is we want to help assist your agents. So Einstein agents that you see there, that is our term for everything we're building to help assist your agents. So this includes things like case classification. When a question comes in, Einstein's doing the work to figure out what that question's about and pre-populate that information in Salesforce. This is not the stuff your agents should be spending their time doing. Einstein is also serving up recommended knowledge articles to help your agents solve those customer questions faster. And then Einstein Discovery, this is our supercharged prediction platform that we are using to help predict CSAT and lifetime value as your agents are working on customer questions and resolving those issues for your customers. This is huge value to all of the businesses that we've been working with. And then finally, we talked about training. How do you train your workforce for this new world? Well, for that, we have Trailhead. Trailhead is our online fun training platform that we have built. And we have added on there a number of trails that are free, talking about the hard skills, about how do you use our products, but also the soft skills. How do you actually train your agents to work in this new AI world? How do you train them to have more EQ, to be able to do customer de-escalations when a customer is getting really frustrated? And more than that, we recognize that every single business has your own unique things that you need to train your employees on. And for that, we launched My Trailhead at Dreamforce this year. This is a platform where you can build trails specific to your business and roll them out to your agents. That's a huge value for you. All right, now I have talked a lot about this. We actually want to invite up on stage now a customer who is going to share with us how she's approached the world of AI, and then she's actually going to demo for us her site in action. So for that, please join me in welcoming to the stage from DoorDash, Ruby Kanda. Welcome to the stage, Ruby.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
So first, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Sure, so I'm Ruby. I lead the business applications team at DoorDash. In the past 2.5 years, we've grown our Salesforce CRM from just 50 users to 3,000 users, and it's been a whirlwind journey. So I'm really excited to share experiences, what we've learned, and also give you a sneak peek of what's next for DoorDash customer support.
I love this. So I have to admit, I am an avid DoorDash user, which is why I love talking about this. I use DoorDash every single week to feed myself, my husband, and my kids. But there might be some folks out here who don't know what DoorDash is. So can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Sure. So DoorDash at its core is a logistics platform. Today, we use our logistics to deliver food. Tomorrow, we want to use our logistics to deliver more than just food. With food delivery, it's a complex three-sided marketplace where we have merchants who are restaurant owners who we partner with to advertise their menu on our app. You and I as consumers can download the app, order from our favorite restaurant, and that order gets transmitted directly to our merchant who begins prepping the order. We then dispatch our drivers, who we call our dashers, to pick up the order and deliver it directly to your door. And as you can imagine, in this complex three-way handshake, there's a lot of room for human error. And for that, we really need to build a really strong Salesforce Service Cloud environment to take on all of these support tickets.
Awesome. So I love your product. I'm getting hungry. But you have actually approached the world of AI and tackled something that, honestly, a lot of people are struggling with. So can you tell us a little bit about how you approached AI and how you started thinking about implementing it for your business?
Sure. So AI can seem like a daunting task for anyone. You have to have the proper ingredients in place to even start thinking about AI. A year ago, DoorDash wasn't really thinking about AI at all. Today, that's all we think about. And I'll try to tell you about what happened a year ago. So last year, our systems were completely disconnected. Our data was split across and in complete silos. A year later, we've worked very hard to bring together all of our systems into one comprehensive CRM. Now that we have one comprehensive CRM, we can actually follow a customer from the time that they're a lead in our environment to when they file their last support ticket. That's millions of data points that now show us what issues our customers are facing versus what our dashers are facing versus what our merchants are facing. Second, now that we have an understanding of the issues that they're facing, we can actually start to write a written knowledge base and empower our agents on how to resolve these common and uncommon issues. With this strong knowledge base in place to empower our agents to find the right resolution at the right time, along with a comprehensive CRM, we are now at the stage in where we actually want to empower our customers. We want our customers to feel like they can find the answer right away and that they can resolve that without even going to a support agent. So that's why we're thinking about AI on a day-by-day basis.
So you connected your systems, then you built your knowledge base. And the third thing is you really have thought about what channels you want to engage your customers on. And you are a huge user of our live agent web chat, and you use it on your website, and you use it in your mobile app. So that is what we are actually going to demo, and you're actually going to walk us through the demo of your product and what you've been building.
Yeah, so I'm really excited because this will show you DoorDash group cart ordering, Einstein, as well as live agent console. So let's dive in. Okay, so here we have Leah, and Leah is a hardworking corporate woman who is in tons of meetings throughout the day. While she loves being a hardworking woman, she also likes to spend time with her team during lunch. So she's actually utilizing our DoorDash group cart ordering feature. So she's opened up her DoorDash app and placed an order to her favorite restaurant for her team. While she's stuck in a meeting, she receives an email from her boss asking her to add more to her order because more people will be joining her for lunch. While she can't get out of her meeting to place a phone call to DoorDash support, no worries, because DoorDash has invested in multi-channel support. So at the bottom of her screen, she sees a chat with an expert button, which she goes ahead and clicks. And rather than waiting to be connected to an agent, she is instantly greeted by an Einstein bot.
So this, I just want to stop you for a second. This is our Snap-ins product. And you were actually able to implement this with one line of code. And I always have customers ask me, was it actually that easy? So was it actually that easy to implement live agent web chat right into your mobile phone? Was it really just one line of code?
Yeah, so Salesforce loves to package their products and make it as simple for the customer as possible to implement, so it can be exactly one line of code. And that can enable you to not only unlock live agent chat for Android and iOS, but also Einstein and knowledge snap-ins. And that's exactly what you see here, in where Einstein is actually handling some of the common questions that agents spend the first 5-6 minutes of any case asking, such as, hey, how can I help you today? And Leah can respond back saying, I need to modify or change my order. Now, Einstein can actually search our written knowledge base and float over a knowledge article that can potentially help resolve Leah's issue. Unfortunately, Leah's stuck in a meeting and she can't really navigate our app to actually modify her order, so she asks Einstein to fetch her details about her order so she can figure out what she needs to add, what the difference is. And so because Einstein is an integrated application into our SDK, it can actually fetch delivery details and float them to Leah instantaneously. And now Leah knows that she actually needs to add maybe 12 more servings. So Einstein can ask her a structured question, which is really important because structured questions actually enable AI to be smarter than ever. So with the structured question, Leah can actually state that she wants to add some more servings. And now Einstein can seamlessly transfer that chat conversation to our Service Cloud agent who works out of Lightning Console.
That's awesome. So now we're going to pull up the Lightning console, and the second that the agent clicks into this and accepts that, you can see that this has been, the screen you're seeing just totally changes. And this is pulling in all the information that you wanted to have at your agent's fingertips. So tell us a little bit about what you pulled in here for your agents.
Yeah, sure. So our agent, Chris, can on the left upper hand side see all of the case details, which are populated by Einstein. Community 360 is available to him on the lower left side, in where he can actually see what articles Leah has looked at or what articles would be helpful to resolve this issue. On the right side, you actually see Leah's social persona. This is really important because we actually integrate with Twitter and Facebook to understand what your sentiment about DoorDash actually is. And the agent can tailor their response based off of the sentiment that Leah is experiencing. In the center of the screen is really where the chat conversation lives, and the agent can help to finish up the conversation with Leah and actually be guided down the right resolution path through Lightning Flow. Now, this is really important because with thousands of agents located all around the world, we really want to standardize our support experience for all of our customers. And Lightning Flow allows us to do that, exactly that.
So it doesn't matter how long the agent has been on the job. It could be a day, it could be a week. They're providing the exact same experience as someone who's been there for months with Lightning Flow.
Exactly, and it's fantastic. So now Chris, the support agent, has updated her order and can finish up with Leah. And now what you've seen here is really an end-to-end integrated solution that uses AI to augment our customer support experience. With Live Flow, our support agent can actually increase the CSAT and follow company policy.
This was amazing. So first, huge round of applause for Ruby for doing a demo of her actual product. That was pretty incredible.
Thanks.
Thank you for that. And now I think I want to ask what everybody's probably thinking, which is what's next for DoorDash?
Yeah, so live agent chat on our mobile phones it comprises of 66% of our support contacts. So it's our largest support channel. Unfortunately, with live agent chat, we also do experience a drop chat volume. And this is because it is a synchronous communication channel in where our customers have to keep the app open in order to end or complete a chat session. So what we want to do is actually add one more support channel in there, live message SMS, which empowers our customers to actually have asynchronous contact, so that they can get along with the rest of their day if they're a restaurant owner and have lots of things to tend to, but still maintain contact with the agent. So that's what we're rolling out next is SMS.
Awesome. Well, with that, I want to thank Ruby for demoing for us and welcome to the stage for our next chapter, my colleague Meredith.
Thank you, Sarah. That was so amazing. I love watching our customers do incredible things in our digital channels. And I think as you heard earlier, we all know our customers are expecting more of us. When it comes to personalization, as marketers in the room, we all know the power of personalized journeys. And we know it's all about a customer reaching out to us on whatever channel and us knowing that customer. But this is hard, right? Our expectation is 75% of your customers today want a consistent experience, regardless of the channel that they're using to reach out to you. But to do it is not simple, right? There are more and more channels. The complexity is increasing within each of these channels. But you just heard firsthand from Ruby, we are focused on making it easy for you. We have packaged up the most comprehensive digital channel portfolio available today. And with the power of the Service Cloud platform, we make it easy for you to deliver service in each and every one of these channels. Now, when I talk about service, it really is covering the whole life cycle. It's pre-sales engagement, it's engaging at the point of sale, and it's that service and support post-purchase. And we let you deliver it everywhere. You just saw firsthand how our Snap-ins product embeds service in your company app. We can also deliver it for your customers who are on computers, in their browsers. For your customers in social networks, we move social care into social customer service easily. And for customers who are on mobile devices, it's all about mobile messaging. Now, you saw firsthand the bots. Sarah talked about the intelligence in the platform, which surfaces in the form of bots. And with that bot builder, you can build one bot and apply it across all of these channels. So that's pretty amazing. But that's not all, right? We know you're looking for what is the next level? How do you really take it to that next level of service transformation? And when it comes to mobile messaging, that next level is conversational messaging. Now, this is not the campaigns that marketers are very used to, and they see the impact and the effectiveness of SMS campaigns. This is the messaging that we're doing today. People are messaging 5 times more on their phone than they're actually talking on their phones. And I'm gonna just ask a quick question, fun little question. How many of you have sent at least one text message during this keynote? It's okay. You're not offending me or Bill or Sarah. This is how we love to communicate. And think about the power of that in your business communication strategy. Think about turning, as a marketer we know, delivering the right message to the right customer at the right time has an amazing impact. So think about the power of taking your SMS Journey Builder campaign and turning it conversational, letting that customer respond and engage in real time with your associates and your agents. That is the next level of transformation. And this is asynchronous messaging, right? It's bursty, it's real time, but then you can go away. As Ruby said, you don't have to keep that connection open. So it's pure convenience and a huge increase in customer satisfaction. Now, the world of mobile messaging is continuing to evolve, and the future is being led by Apple Business Chat. This is iMessage for Business. So when the iPhone launched, we all had that Messages app with green bubbles for SMS. And then 4 years ago, blue bubbles started appearing on your phone. That was iMessage. Well, now gray bubbles are starting to pop up on your phone. And what is this doing? It's letting you as a business communicate with your customers and communicate with every single one of your iOS users around the globe quickly and easily. It's also delivering a rich media experience. So Marriott has been working with Apple and Salesforce since the very beginning, before Apple even announced Business Chat. And we are the only CRM company working with Apple on this initiative. So let's hear directly from Marriott about their philosophy of customer service and engagement and how they're embracing digital channels. Let's roll the film.
Travel is about the humanity of the world. People travel to see their families, to celebrate moments that are once in a lifetime. We want to be part of that. We want to make those experiences as frictionless and seamless as possible.
As long as hospitality has been around, it's always been about the relationship between the people in our hotels and our guests. And we still want to make sure that people feel the human aspect of our business. We started as a root beer stand in 1927, and now we're the world's largest hospitality company with close to 7,000 hotels and 30 brands. But always core was this idea of hospitality and taking care of our people so they can take care of our guests.
And the way you do that is through hiring amazing, talented associates who serve from their heart. And then you back those associates up with best-in-breed technology. The beauty of the Salesforce platform is it gives us a 360-degree view of our customer.
So whether it's preferences in pillow type or food and beverage or experiences they want in the local marketplace, Salesforce is the tool enabling our associates to deliver a superior guest experience.
Anytime you can surprise and delight someone with service, you need information to do that. And Service Cloud is the heart. And we have the right information at the right time delivered to our associate at the moment of that customer interaction. Because the customer interaction is the moment of truth.
Salesforce has empowered us to be able to service our guests at a higher level. I'm smiling and I know that they're smiling. It's a win-win on both ends.
The fact that we have one system rolled out globally is enabling us to innovate and execute in a way that we never could have done before. Guest expectations have changed. They really want a highly personalized experience that meets their needs. And mobile is really a key enabler of deepening that relationship.
What makes Apple Business Chat and Service Cloud so powerful is when a customer engages with Marriott, we're engaging back with one of our associates that's actually servicing the customer in real time.
Our goal is to create raving brand fans through incredible experiences. Not just experiences within the 4 walls of our hotel, but along the entire travel journey.
That's what Salesforce can do for our team, is they can help them spend time creating the magic moments of travel. Hospitality is powered by people, and our people are powered by Salesforce.
That was amazing. Marriott is embracing these digital channels and creating amazing experiences. What you saw was possible through Sales Cloud, Community Cloud, and Service Cloud. And what I'm going to do right now is quickly dive into the Apple Business Chat experience and show you a little bit more about what's behind that. And I'm going to do that by sharing a very common occurrence in my life as a frequent business traveler. I'm sure many of you in the room can commiserate with me on that. So this is my iPhone. I've landed in the San Francisco airport. My flight is delayed. It's late. I hop in the cab and I search the Marriott marquee where I'm heading to figure out what my food options are. Now, when I search and see the results, you see that very common phone icon that lets me talk to a company that I've searched for. But if you'll notice, there's a new image there, a messaging bubble. And I definitely prefer messaging. You see, until fairly recently, I was an entrepreneur. I built a company that was all around conversational messaging between businesses and companies, and so it's a no-brainer. I'm gonna choose messaging every time. And by the way, when you offer this option to your customers, 40 to 50% of them will immediately go to messaging. That's the impact you can make. So I click that bubble, and I'm immediately brought to my Messages app, and here's my gray bubble exchange right now, right? I learned that a Marriott associate's gonna be with me very shortly, and that's okay. I don't have to wait, right? I don't lose the connection, I go on. Let's look at the agent side of the experience right now, shall we? Through the power of omni-channel routing, I'm routed to the right agent, in this case, Richard. And this is Lightning Console, the heart of Service Cloud. You've heard about it, you've seen the DoorDash console, and if you'll notice, this is the Marriott console. It looks a little different. And this is because we have a very flexible platform that lets you configure the desktop that makes the most sense for your business. So Richard accepts my conversation, but if you look at the top of his screen, you'll see that he's having a conversation with several other customers over international SMS, Facebook Messenger, regular SMS, and web chat. And this is the power of that asynchronous messaging. Because it's bursty, because you're messaging back and forth, but then there's lags, agents can typically handle 7 to 10 conversations that are happening in generally the same time, which means huge increase in productivity. And by the way, agents really love these channels because people are nicer in the mobile messaging channels. It's kind of interesting to see it. So back to my conversation, Richard's responded, and he's gone a step further. He's let me know that there's in-room dining options, and he sends me the in-room menu. Now let's look at this conversation. This is not what you typically get in your Messages app, right? It's pictures, images. I'm gonna scroll through the menu and I'm gonna make my selections. It's tapping, not typing. And in fact, it's soon gonna be considered old school that we were typing on a keyboard for our messaging exchanges. So it makes things super quick and convenient. So I make my selection. Richard asks for my ETA and I let him know when I'm arriving. And he lets me know the food will be waiting for me in my room. So I'm thrilled. This has been effortless. It's certainly making my day a lot better. But wait, the power of the platform kicks in. Because Richard can see that I am a very loyal Marriott Rewards member, he automatically upgrades me to the concierge level and lets me know through my mobile key card that he's updating it to the new room number since I've checked in on my phone. Well, I am thrilled. This is really an instance and a moment where I have become that raving brand fan that Stephanie talked about. And this has happened because Marriott is a trailblazer. They are embracing the digital channels that they know their customers want to be communicating with them on, and they are transforming digital service and creating amazing new transformative experiences. So I would love to do a shout out to my favorite agent in the whole world, Richard. Thank you, Richard. And now we're going to cover the next chapter of Service Cloud, which is all about scalability, and I'm going to welcome back to the stage Bill Patterson.
Thank you, Meredith. It is just amazing to see the combined set of innovations that you see Marriott doing, DoorDash doing, and how we think about these digital channels coming together to blend into our experiences, really to optimize the lives of our customers, which is really what we're all here about. You know, our final chapter today is all about how we help you achieve new scale into your service operations. And one of the most common questions that we get at Salesforce is, can you scale to meet the needs of our business? One of the beautiful things about the way that we've built Service Cloud is that we scale to the needs of B2C organizations or B2B organizations, or even both. Because many organizations actually have both lines of business, just like Marriott does and DoorDash does, to meet the needs of their customers. This cloud in 24 hours processes some of the world's most complex interactions with ease. So we have the scale and the availability and the trust that you can bet your business with. But scale is also about making sure that we deliver great experiences for your customers. And when you think about the experience side of support and service, we allow you to scale the service experience using the combination of our portals and our community cloud. This allows you to build engaging experiences to drive your customers through. And then on the other side, for your service operations, to really offload the process of support and give customers what they're looking for and free up, again, agent capacity into your service center. Speaking of agent capacity in your service center, it's also about the ability to automate the business processes that your service operations could conduct every day. You saw in Ruby's demonstration, the power of lightning flow is about how we can automate and orchestrate your business processes like never before. The combination of what we do and what our partners do allow us to build these rapid industry-specific processes that you can immediately go into AppExchange and take advantage of to help greatly accelerate your time to value with Service Cloud. Now, this innovation is not just for big customers, it's also for small businesses. And we've now just launched Service Cloud Essentials. So this means that every business on the planet, big business, small business, can now take advantage of Service Cloud. We are so excited to unleash this innovation for you. There's great trials and demonstrations online. So if you're just exploring or experimenting with how to modernize your service experiences, you can start with the power of Essentials and let that scale with you as your business grows. It is the combination of these solutions that work together and combine together that drive the next generation of service and support for organizations. And we could not be more proud to bring this entire platform and give it to you and put it in your hands to unleash the next wave of innovation for your business. It is this success in working together that reinforces Salesforce's leadership in customer engagement solutions. And we've just been recognized for the 10th year in a row as the leader by Gartner in the Customer Engagement Center Magic Quadrant. And we could not be more excited to be partnering with you for the next 10 years, because there always is going to be room for us to improve in the area of customer service and support together. With that, I want to go ahead and close today's demonstration. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for learning and connecting. And again, I wish you the best of luck in your service transformations for the future. Join us after this session in the campground to learn more, and also the subsequent sessions where you can actually hear more customers in action around how they're transforming service together. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Salesforce Connections in Chicago. My name is Jennifer Brooks, and I work on the financial services marketing team here at Salesforce. I am so excited to be here with my guest today, Len Van Gruen from John Hancock. How's it going, Len?
I'm doing great, thank you. Fantastic venue, great event.
Sounds good. So just let's start off with, tell me a little bit about John Hancock and what your company does.
Absolutely. So John Hancock's a financial services organization. We're based here in the US, and that's the brand that we use. We're part of a large organization called Manulife, which is a Canadian organization that operates worldwide, obviously in Canada as well as in Asia. In the US, our primary focus is around financial services that we offer products like life insurance, 401k savings, investments, and then we also have some annuity business and long-term care business.
Great, and tell me a little bit about your role at John Hancock.
So I'm technology officer for John Hancock, so I take on the technology leadership within the organization, all the way from defining strategy, but also providing specific guidance to a couple of teams that I have. The first one is architecture, so we can set that target state direction where we need to go. Also have responsibility for information risk management and information management, and then a very fun group that I really enjoy is digital engineering. They tend to start playing with more of the fun stuff, some of the voice type services that we need to provide, virtual reality, and that's the space they play in. About a month ago also gained additional responsibility to help out our advice business, and this is a growing segment for us where we provide financial advice directly to customers.
Great. The fun is always a good part of the job, right?
Absolutely. I think this is where you can truly immerse yourself in the job. You can actually feel the outcomes and participate in the growing team.
Great. So how have insurance customer expectations changed in the 21st century, and what's John Hancock doing to address these challenges?
So it's very interesting. So we've been around for 155 years, and obviously things over that period of time changed significantly. In the past, you're typically, as you fill in a life insurance form, a lot of questions to answer. It was typically paper-driven. There was some medicals and things done afterwards. That's not the expectation from customers nowadays. Recently, I had to check in for my flight, and that was a 30-second effort. And that's typically the attention span that we have nowadays from individuals. So what we started doing is actually changing that whole experience by having people apply online, being a lot more responsive in terms of the questions that we ask, directing them to a shorter set of questions. And then in the end, what they want is a much more instant reaction or response to their application. So we've lined up all of that as part of our life insurance processes for new products.
And how did you approach the internal transformation necessary to meet new customer expectations? What do you think are the key ingredients to success in that?
Yeah, that's very critical for us. We had to change some of our processes, whether it is defining new products that really fits this market so that you can understand what some of the underwriting rules is that you need to apply, ways that we actually implement the products. So technology had to change. We've been a very waterfall-based organization. So you would start off with a set of requirements, and then maybe 12, 18 months later, you eventually deliver the product. In today's day and age, you cannot take that long. So we've moved truly to an agile delivery approach. The ability where in the past, it might take us on Salesforce 5 to 6 weeks to release new changes, we can do it now multiple times a day.
Wow.
This is the way where we can actually identify what's working and what's not working, or if we need to optimize something, or even bug fixes as we go through that.
So you went from a few months to a couple times a day being able to implement changes.
Correct, yeah. It just puts us in that position where we can delight the customer much sooner. If you understand something is not working, you might have anticipated that a certain way of asking a question, it was clear for you, but it didn't quite work for the customer. So as you acknowledge and identify that, let's push out a change so that the customer experiences it differently.
And how have you used Salesforce to address some of your challenges?
So Salesforce has been there along the way. Firstly, as we started about 4 or 5 years ago on our Salesforce journey, we had a program architect on board. We started with Service Cloud. We have some Sales Cloud implementations. For life insurance specifically, what we did is brought in some of the Salesforce services, professional services, to actually help us do some of the implementation. The role that Salesforce plays in this is helps us with lead management in the process, but also helps us with a component where if you as an individual are not quite certain what you need to answer in the form, we have coverage coaches that is on Salesforce that can help you fill in your life insurance form on your behalf. And then from there, we push it out to our back-end systems.
And why don't you tell me a little bit about what John Hancock's doing for innovation? You said you're a 155-year-old company, so it must be really challenging to find that right way to innovate.
It is a challenge because you need to innovate while considering your existing customer base, considering the existing business that you have. We don't have the luxury of doing anything greenfield, so you have to do it within context. But I think as a whole, the organization's done an amazing job with two real good innovative products. The first one is a product called Vitality. So this is really modeled after life insurance with a healthy lifestyle value to it. If you take out this life insurance and you show that you live a healthy lifestyle, you keep fit, you eat well, you actually get a discount on your insurance premiums.
That's pretty nice.
It's a nice payback as part of that. And it's taken off really well for us in an organization. The second part is, a couple of years ago, we bought a startup in San Francisco. They focused on behavioral finance. And in November of last year, they launched their first product called Twine. And this is an app that allows couples to save together. Today, savings is one of the bigger challenges that we have. And this provides an opportunity for couples to pick those target goals that they want to save towards. It integrates directly with your individual bank accounts. From there, withdraw the funds, and you have options in terms of how you want to save it. If it's shorter term, you might just put it into a savings account. If it's longer term, you pick something like a mutual fund or an ETF, and you save for a goal like maybe a house, a car, maybe that wedding that you want to have, and just that opportunity to work together.
And how has the app been doing since its inception?
It's amazing. We've had it actually 3 times having App of the Day in the App Store for Apple.
That's really impressive.
That's very nice. So the uptake on that is good. And we see a lot of interest in this, just to help people to save.
Okay, one final question. Where do you see the insurance industry going in the next 5 to 10 years, and how is John Hancock planning to adapt with these changes?
So we're definitely in the midst of a massive digital transformation where we change from the way we do business today that is somewhat product-centric to absolutely trying to delight the customer, to make sure we understand them along the way, give them opportunities to engage with us across multiple channels, and even getting to the point where we might even anticipate their needs so that you can serve them that much better.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Len, for speaking with me today. That's all for today. See you soon.
tonight. He doesn't care what it looks like, just as long as it's pink and it's time. It's what he likes. So what should you do? Should you stop being you, just to be how we want you? Go and visit your mom and tell me that you come. Meet me in the afternoon. He's got your heart, you got his soul. You might as well know. So what? I know you'll never go be with me. Do you understand now that maybe you got it right first time? I realize that you never leave it, and every now and then in the evening you could get it right first time. I know you think I gotta be joking, and if you touch him again then I'm going. Oh, you got it right first time. Get it right first time. And now you've done it once, now I want you to wear your pink glove all the time. So what should you do? Should you stop being you, just to be how we want you?
Welcome to Salesforce Live at Connections. I'm here with Glenn Hartman, Senior Managing Director of Accenture Interactive. Thank you so much for being with me.
Hey, thank you. It's great to be here.
Okay, so many people know what Accenture is. It's a huge company. We work with Accenture on so many different things at Salesforce. But let's go a little bit deeper into what is Accenture Interactive?
Sure. Accenture Interactive simply is a part of Accenture that's just laser focused on helping our clients create and deliver the best experiences on the planet. And it aligns really well with Salesforce for their Marketing Cloud and Commerce Cloud, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, all coming together to help really create experiences that matter to customers.
So why is it so important to have a group that's so laser focused beyond the larger company?
Well, when you think of Accenture and its history of being, very large technology and consulting projects, we wanted to really make sure we had a team that was focused very much on the front end and the customer, and not just the technology enablement and the way that businesses approach, but really what it means to a customer. What's the end outcome and the way a customer engages with that brand or that company. And that's just, there's a little bit different mindset to be able to have that approach. And it works perfectly well with Big Accenture. We stand on the shoulders of that big company that can deliver a lot of those ideas at scale.
It's very interesting that it is like they are providing you a lot of a backbone, but you're creating something that's so great on top of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all one team integrated. It's just a little bit of a different focus. When you're dealing with end customer outcomes and marketers and people that are trying to create these kinds of experiences, it's just a little bit different language.
Right.
And understanding what brand is and even the word experience and all the ways that marketing is changing and the way that customer expectations change. It's not something that you can look at in a broad sense. You have to get very specific.
All right, so let's talk about this word experience.
Sure.
What does the word experience mean to Accenture Interactive?
Well, it's great. I'm glad you asked, because the word experience means so many different things for so many different people. It's the way we look at it is it's not just the way a website looks or the way an app would look, or even technology approach of like wireframes or some kind of UX idea, user experience design. It goes much broader than that. It's any way that a customer can engage with a brand.
Right.
It could be related to marketing, it could be customer service, could be loyalty, online, offline, in-store, any way that someone can touch a brand. And when we look at that experience, it's not so much just about getting the right message or the right offer to someone. It's much more looked at when we talk about it as the big E. Big E experience is really more around empathy.
Okay.
And when we think about empathy, we really are starting to take, I mean, people have been talking about customer centricity forever.
Right.
But that really is more about like personalization or, again, getting the right offer or the right message to the right person at the right time. That's good.
Right.
But when you really talk about empathy, you start to redefine success in terms of that person. So instead of just business success or trying to convert them better or get better leads, it's more of what's the customer's goal, what's the end goal that they're trying to achieve. And when you start thinking in those terms, it changes the whole business outlook and the way the brand approaches that interaction.
So you call it the big E, so it's not just the big experience, it's the big empathy.
Yeah.
How are you finding ways to understand and be more empathetic with your customers?
Well, it's one of the things that is great about having technology be a big part and analytics be a big part of the way these experiences are driven. And you know, the more you learn of your customer, the more you can help understand their context and what they're trying to get accomplished. It could be something as simple as the way you look at data and the way you look at behavior. So I travel a lot for my business, for instance, and I'm a member of a loyalty program at a big hotel.
I live for that stuff, I get it.
Yeah, right? So you think they know me really well because I travel a lot. They know what kind of room I like, what restaurant I want to eat at all sorts of stuff. But when I travel for myself for business, I'm wildly different needs and goals than when I travel with my family.
Absolutely.
Even if it's something as simple like I get up super early to get an early flight, so I want to have a room when I'm traveling for business that's right next to an elevator. But when I'm with my family, I don't want to do that because I'm going to keep my daughter up late and I want her to sleep in the morning and I want to be as far away. But the hotel company doesn't know that. If they're only using certain parts of data that says my demographics or what I did last time, they'll never know that I have a different goal in that moment. So that context is where empathy really comes in because you're different, aren't you? Like different times of the day, different
different
moods.
hotels, different cities.
Yeah, you could have different ideas.
The purpose of traveling, as you said, it makes it very different.
So there's that kind of thing, this contextual thing, and it's not just about understanding why someone bought, what someone bought or what they did, but why. So some people may buy different products, maybe because they're connected to them in a different way. Maybe they're eco-friendly, or maybe it's because they have certain tastes that are different that can really add a whole new way. If you go to a coffee, your favorite coffee drive-through spot, and I do, we order the same thing, but your understanding of what sweet is a little different than mine. Maybe you get 2 or 3 pumps of flavor because you have a real sweet tooth, but I only get 1 flavoring, but to me it's still sweet. If that company knew and you walked up, every single time you say, I'll have the latte with this mocha flavor, they'll know to give me a little bit less and you a little bit more. That's more of a why you buy or a taste rather than just the right product at the right time.
So how are you doing this? How are you finding people's tastes and really creating these experiences that are personal for them?
There's just so many ways. That's the wonderful thing about different types of data sets now. If you can just find a way to bring that data to life and watch different behaviors and ask more insightful questions, you can do it through machine, you can do it through humans, but it's the coming together of all that. It's more so of just data, because everyone says, well, it's a data storage. You gotta be able to put yourself in their shoes and start to look at different use case scenarios. So we do this all the time, where we'll go in and actually see what it's like to check into a hotel, or what is it like to order that coffee, and what's it like to use the app to do financing for financial services, or those kinds of things, and understand different ways that would just help people. So in the end, it's taking the data and using it to be helpful.
Right.
It's changing the way people even talk about marketing. I don't know if you hear the language that people use, so that sometimes they use, well, we're going to try and convert that customer. We're going to try and...
Oh, that's so impersonal.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, when was the last time you wanted to be converted?
I don't think I ever have it. It has a negative connotation for me.
Or acquired. That's another one. We acquire. Customer acquisition is what...
No one should use those on me, because I want what is personally, emotionally attractive to me.
Well, that's interesting you say that, the personally and emotional part, because part of the big E is not just empathy and trying to understand what their goals are, but also to find a way to stay emotionally connected.
Right.
And this goes a lot to the way that people look at creative too. So you have the big creative idea and people might really get connected to that commercial or some idea.
At Astro or Cody.
Yeah, exactly. But to be able to understand that the brand, and anyone who's looking at brand, is really, you should think of brand, and everyone really does, as a set of promises. What is it going to feel like to work with that brand? What is it, how do you engage, in every step, you should get that same feeling. So the way we think of the emotional connection when you first, some people just love this brand. I'm going to buy that thing because I just love that brand, or go to that coffee place, or whatever example we're using, because they feel some connection to that emotionally. So the way that brand promises are kept now are actually through the experience. So you have to find ways to keep that emotional connection going. Maybe you like that brand because they are helping to do something altruistic through charity. But if the next part of the experience isn't related to that, it loses the connection with that promise.
Right.
And that's a big part of empathy and emotion. How do you track that as a business? The businesses are not used to tracking that kind of stuff necessarily, and that's the new ways to look at success in the terms of the customer.
So within that, there are some ways that we are being helped to understand these customers. How is AI part of this evolution of marketing?
Well, artificial intelligence, there's a lot of buzzwords that happen in every generation.
Right.
That's it's more than a buzzword, of course, but I think to look at it, it has to not be something like any technology that comes around. If it was moving things to the cloud, or now people talk about machine learning with artificial intelligence. Back a while back, it used to be IoT, and the Internet of Things.
I know what by a while back, you mean like 2 years?
Yeah, exactly. 2 years, which is a long, long time.
Especially in the technology world.
So I mean, this idea is to not look at that technology and that enabler as the answer, but it has to be integrated into the things we're talking about.
Right.
So is Accenture Interactive going to be really big into artificial intelligence? Well, yeah, if it relates to helping us create the best experiences on the planet that help drive empathy and emotion. Now the challenge is, that's an artificial intelligence. How much emotion can you get connected with that? So you have to make sure that you're balancing all that data and all the value that comes out of that with this human element.
Right.
So okay, maybe sometime really soon, you might walk into a restaurant or a fast food place and have to interact with a robot. So what does that do to the brand? How can that robot emote any kind of the brand promise and the emotion and the empathy? And that's going to be something that you have to deal with artificial intelligence or IoT or machine learning. Those things that can't just be looked at as a thing in a style. Same thing with analytics.
Right.
You can get all the data in the world. People talk about big data. That was a buzzword a while ago. But if you don't actually do something with it that helps someone else, not convert them, not acquire them, but actually help them and be useful to them and maintain some kind of connection, it's not really worthwhile.
So one word that is not just a buzzword, but is so important, is trust. How do these experiences, this empathy, this connection over emotion, contribute to trust and companies able to have their customers trust?
It's a big thing, maybe even the biggest. So I mean, if you're going to have a brand promise, no matter what it is, at one point you take the most famous ones, like in the auto industry, Volvo was known for being safety, right? BMW is performance. You can go on and on, pick whichever brand promise they have. But at the core of that, no one's going to believe any of that unless you trust them.
Right.
You trust that there'll be better engineering in that car, there'll be better safety features, or whatever it is. You have to trust that they're going to do what they say. So in the level of trust, there's so many pitfalls and ways you can destroy that by using people's data incorrectly or not being transparent about what you're doing.
Or not providing help.
Yes, or not being useful or helpful or empathetic in the way, well, I'm really, really glad that you got your business outcome, but it didn't help what I wanted to do. So these kinds of things are all points of how the brand and the brand promise we talked about before has to be inherent with trust. And one of the ways that we see this, not only with transparency and doing the right thing, right? Just don't do the wrong thing. That's really cool, right? Trying that.
That's right there. Don't do the wrong thing.
But if you're actually doing something on behalf of that customer, that helps. But it goes beyond customer centricity. It goes beyond trying to get even in their shoes. At one point, you have to start as a brand to advocate for that customer, to really be there and be the voice and say, listen, this is what that customer really wants to do. Let's change our business. Let's reverse engineer our business around how that customer wants to engage, how they want to check in at a hotel, or how they want to buy something, whatever it might be. So when you start to do that, trust gets developed. But think about it this way too. There's a value quotient that happens with trust. So if you're really going to provide value and be helpful, they will feel it and start to trust more and be more open about other things. So I'll just give you an example. So one of the most famous examples that I've used before is that people say, well, listen, in this whole data world and Big Brother, and I don't want to, it's creepy, it can be, right? But I don't want to give up my own privacy to be able to get a better product or something, right? But when you think about it this way, if you went into your doctor's office and you just go for your regular checkup, think about how invasive that is. You go in, you get naked, you'll talk to them about all your personal, health issues, your family's history, all sorts of stuff you would never share with anyone, but you will, because if you give them that information, that doctor will give you value back and give you a great diagnosis and really help you. So you're willing to do it because there's a value thing and there's inherent trust that comes from doing that. And everyone, that's pretty invasive and
I know, and now I'm like, do I want to go to the doctor again?
Well, you wouldn't do it if they didn't really have some value and trust on a continuous basis. So if they tell you the right thing and give you the right medicine and you feel better, you'll go back and do it again.
Absolutely.
So there's a certain part of that. If you think of almost any experience that we're talking about, the best experiences, there's so many of them out there that could be improved. I don't know, we're talking about healthcare, so I don't know, when people go to the emergency room, that experience isn't that much different today than it was 25, 30 years ago. Maybe they have Wi-Fi in the lobby, but other than that, it's still, or buying a car, or other things. So if you can really find a way to infuse trust while you're delivering those empathetic experiences, it becomes a natural thing for people to believe you.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for this great information. And I think that looking forward, so many brands have to think about the big E experiences with empathy and emotion while they're creating their brand, while they're working with people outside of their business. So I'm excited to see what people do with that.
Yeah, me too. It's a great, exciting time, and especially for marketers and or people in sales to empathize and really be a champion for the customer. All the technology, it's all there. We just have to have the willingness to do some things that will inspire the customer to come along on the journey with us.
Awesome. Thanks.
We're excited about it. Thank you so much for today.
Awesome. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more great content from Connections.
She wears denim wherever she goes, says she's gonna get some records by the status quo. Oh yeah. Still she won't be forced against her will, since she don't do drugs, but she does the pill. Oh yeah. 20th century boy with his hands on the rails, trying not to be sick again and holding on for tomorrow. Landed ice cracks on a seamless line. He's hanging on for dear life, and so we hold each other tightly and hold on for tomorrow. Singing la 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 holding on for tomorrow. She's a 20th century girl with her hands on the wheel, trying not to make him sick again, seeing what she can borrow. London's so nice back in your seamless rhymes, but we're lost on the west way.
You gotta let me know, are we human or are we dancer? My sign is vital, my hands are cold, and I'm on my knees looking for the answer. Are we human or are we dancer? Are we human or are we dancer? Are we human or are we dancer? Last night she said, oh baby, I feel so down. Oh, it turned me off when I feel left out. So I turned round. Oh baby, I don't care no more. I know this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Marketing Cloud Keynote. Before we get started, I would like to remind you of our forward-looking statements. Can I get next slide, please? Please base any decisions on software purchases based on existing functionality. And with that, let's get started and roll the video.
Good morning, Connections. Welcome to day 3 and the Marketing Cloud Keynote. I'm Liam Doyle, SVP of Product. As you can tell by the accent, I'm a native Chicagoan. I've actually been at Salesforce for 6 years, but this is my first year being the ringleader. Somehow I've managed to convince them to trade the collared shirts for the t-shirts, which means anything could happen in the next 40 minutes. So keep an eye out. Now, I've been in this industry for many years, and it still astounds me just how fast it continues to move. We really work in the most experimental discipline going around. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you, of course, for being our customers and our partners, but thank you for coming to events like these. Because it's events like these that we get to listen and learn from you and understand what your needs and challenges are. So thank you so much for coming on this journey with us. Yes, thank you, Trailblazers. You're the best audience we've had. All right. Now, I'm sure you've heard many times over the last couple of days that we are in another industrial revolution, being founded on fundamentally disruptive technologies like AI and IoT. But you guys already know this. You know this because marketing is always at the forefront of these technologies. You're constantly having to reevaluate how your brand is built and nurtured. But we are entering the age of intelligent marketing, and it is bigger than the move to digital. Because in the age of intelligent marketing, the very nature of engagement has changed. Not just the number of devices that we need to interact with, but entirely new interfaces. We need to think about connected homes, connected products, and AI-driven voice interfaces. And these products are connecting and empowering consumers much faster than any of us could have anticipated. 20% of US homes now have a smart speaker. 46% of US adults use a digital assistant. Isn't that crazy? So we need to start thinking about what the tone of voice of our brand is. Does it have a sense of humor? And these are considerations for today, not for some distant future. And as consumers embrace these technologies, these all become part of the experience. And that's really important because 79% of consumers told us the experience was as important as the product or the service. Now, we've always known a brand is a sum of all the interactions that we have with a consumer, but it's never felt as tangible as this. From the marketing to the purchase, from the product to the service, these are all the building blocks for your brand. But we weren't built for this, right? We were built for campaigns on channels, and that's how we measured ourselves. Well, at least that appears to be changing. Mary Meeker quoted our report a couple of weeks ago that showed that customer lifetime value was now considered the most important metric for optimizing advertising. Think about that for a second. I've been building products and advertising for years, and there's no CPM or CTR or CTA. This is a huge inflection point for our industry. But it's also really exciting as well, right? Because as marketers, did we ever really just want to sell the next Ducati? Or are we always hoping to create that experience of owning and riding a Ducati? That's the connected experience that your consumers want. And I'm sure I don't have to tell anyone in this audience that the path to get there is along these 3 channels. We need to know everything we can about our consumers with data. We need to use that data to personalize every engagement we have with them. And we need to do this across every touch point, not just marketing. That's the path. It's easy for me to say, but it's really not easy. And it's not easy because the market continues to change. It changes right from under you. So before we get into the Trailblazer stories, I'm actually going to share with you 3 emergent themes that are driving our investments. The first is my favorite. It's around data and knowing your consumer. I spend a lot of time with all of you, and you're always saying to me, Liam, I have data. I have more data than I know what to do with. I just can't use it. And no wonder, this is the world that you're looking at, right? It's all these disparate sources of data of all shapes and sizes, and somehow you're all expected to create this beautiful, unified consumer profile. But we get it. Because for the last 20 years, we've been building the world's most complete and intelligent CRM with all of you. But at the heart of this, we've been building a persistent storage layer for your most valuable first-party data. So we can help you manage it all of that offline data from across the customer success platform. We are already synchronizing 12 terabytes every 15 minutes. We can help you, thanks to the DMP, capture all that online data coming from websites and apps and from devices, and all of that rich event signal that comes with it. And thanks to our acquisition, our little acquisition of MuleSoft, we can even help you reach into the deep, dark recesses of your enterprise architecture. So we can help you manage it all, but more importantly, we can help you use it. And when you add Einstein and our investments with identity and consumer rights, Salesforce is the most complete, enterprise-grade consumer data solution in the market. Now, you're going to see these Trailblazer stories will all have the data platform at work, but this is an area of huge investment for us, so you're going to see us continue to bring this together and make it more connected. Now, I love data. My friends tell me it's a bit of a problem, but data comes to life through personalization, right? Personalization is how we communicate to consumers that we know them and what they need. And I think we all know that personalizing with AI is the only way for us to scale this up to B2C scale and to do this for each and every consumer. Now, I'm sure you've seen this stat a couple of times over the last couple of days, but 76% of consumers don't just want personalization, they expect it. They just want it in a trusted way. And so in the Ducati demo, you're going to see that when you bring trust into the equation, you get to really unlock the power of personalization. Now, we have all this data, we're harnessing AI. Is all of it just so we can drive more relevant email and ads? It can't be, right? Because if every touch point is equal in delivering your brand experience, then as marketers, you need to have a hand in all of it. You know, digital assistants have arrived, but messaging and chatbots are where the brand experience is won and lost today. Even the buying process and the very unsexy fulfillment process is now part of your brand. You can thank Amazon Prime for that one. And these are all examples where consumers reach out to us and they expect that we will respond to them in real time. So as an industry, we need to evolve from driving and orchestrating just brand-driven activity to listening and responding to consumer-driven activity as well. We need to become engagement-driven. And this two-way engagement is fundamental for all of us to consider in the age of intelligent marketing. And that's what we've been building with the Marketing Cloud, the world's #1 consumer engagement platform. You have Journey Builder and our newly announced and my favorite product, Interaction Studio, to help with inbound and outbound orchestration that gives you that two-way engagement. You have enterprise-grade data management capabilities with DMP and Data Studio at the core, and now our new partnership with Google Analytics 360. Of course, we have the channels you'd expect: email, mobile, web, advertising. But all of this is built on the Salesforce platform. And that brings Einstein. And Einstein is the intelligence that you need to drive that personalization and scale. Now, as you're all thinking about how to deliver your brand promise in the age of intelligent marketing, we all need to think about how data, engagement, and orchestration work together seamlessly. And that's what we've been building with the Marketing Cloud. There is a missing piece, though, the most important piece. Because who's actually going to drive the change? This is great technology, but who's going to transform your business or take your industry in a new direction? You are. You're the innovators. You're the ones disrupting your business model. That's why you're here. You're the ones shaping the direction of your respective industries. For us, nothing that we do with our technology will make a difference without trailblazers like all of you to help make the change. And there's no better example of a trailblazer than my next guest, Gilda Hilaire. Gilda is joining us from Aetna. Please join me on stage, Gilda. Thanks, Gilda. Gilda has transformed 6 businesses in her career. She was the founder of the original Marketing Cloud user group in Boston, and she continues to give back through her thought leadership. So thank you so much for joining us, Gilda.
Thank you for having me.
I've been told that with the live stream, I'm supposed to stand here. So Gilda, thank you for joining us. Now, you've obviously seen a huge amount of change in your career. What have you learned about how to make change successful?
Well, I've learned a lot throughout my career, but one of the most important things that I've learned that I've carried through with every single organization is that we have to work collaboratively in order to identify the journey for our customers. Nothing is more important than that, right? But that takes collaboration between the different teams and the different organizations. It's beyond just email, mobile, and social. But in the world that we live in, we also have to think about that customers also interacting with our customer service teams as well as our sales orgs. So we have to think through that entire journey. Now, I'm not ruling out that you have to build a system, you have to test it, you have to onboard the team that needs to support it, and of course you have to identify the data systems that need to talk to each other. I'm merely saying that we have to think through what does that past experience look like for our customers, and how can we make that next experience even better.
Yeah, I love that focus, that singular focus on experience. It aligns very closely to us. So obviously engagement has changed a lot from what you're doing at Aetna versus I think you started your career at Johnson & Johnson.
Right.
Can you maybe share a little bit about how engagement has changed and what excites you about where we are today?
A lot has excited me. I have to laugh because just the other day I was looking at my archive folder in Yahoo, and I started using ExactTarget back in 2006, so it's about 12 years of using the platform throughout my career. And I found a folder that had old archives of emails, and I have to be honest, I'm surprised I wasn't in email jail. Only because I found one email that used every single color from the Crayola box.
I've seen that email. Yeah.
Subject lines with 2 sentences. I had one email that had 6 different font types, font folio, fireworks, and all the different images equaled me, and I was like the animated GIF queen. But that was then in 2006. But I didn't really care about the customer journey. That wasn't my priority. I didn't really think about the data systems that needed to talk to each other. My motto was spray, pray, move on to the next. Because I literally had so many emails and requests piled up. You know, J&J's initiative at the time was to educate its patients so that, they could, push through any pains that they were having, to activate their life. But for me, it was spray, pray, move on to the next. But as I think about what I'm doing now at Aetna, first of all, it's collaborative between different teams in the organization. But Aetna is really trying to bring the health back in healthcare. We have an opportunity to educate our members so that they are well engaged and well informed throughout their health journey. But for us, the criticalness in that is that we cannot afford to make a mistake when it comes to their journey. We also cannot afford to make a mistake by not sending that the customer agent any sort of customer complaints or leads to the sales org. So we need to ensure that we have a platform that allows us to send messages at the right time, the right copy, in a personalized way. But again, I can't stress enough the importance of doing it collaboratively. Because when I was at J&J, I wore multiple hats, which I'm sure a lot of you do. But now you have to work collaboratively in order to understand that experience for the customer.
Amazing. Yeah, I've seen a few of those emails. Thanks for sharing. It's definitely a different world.
Right.
Now, you have a lot of Trailblazers in the room. You love to give back to your community. Perhaps you can tell other Trailblazers how they should think about engaging the community.
So I'm sure of you have spent a lovely couple of 3 days at Connections, attending really good sessions, hearing success stories from other Trailblazers, networking with other folks. But I'm pretty sure, as I am, a lot of you are frustrated because you just found out that there's an issue you've been working on for several weeks that somebody else has solved for. Or some of you are stuck in AmpScript land, or some of you are stuck trying to figure out why your query's not working. Well, that's the beauty of being a Trailblazer, is that we have an opportunity to share some of these solutions with others. You are not alone. Back in 2006, I was alone. 2018, you are surrounded by folks who are like-minded, just like you, who are just as passionate about the platform as you are. And I feel that that's what makes Trailblazers unique, is the more we surround ourselves with people with the same passion as we are, we become more successful. And the more we can find people to validate some of the issues that we're having, it also makes us much more disruptive than we currently are. So what I advise all my Trailblazers to do is to go out there and join a community around you. And if there isn't one, start one, right? It just takes 2 people to start to become a Trailblazer and to start a user group, just like I did in Boston.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Gilda. There's your call to action, everybody. Start a user group. Thank you, Gilda. Now, hopefully you can all see how important it is to have passionate Trailblazers like Gilda helping drive change. Now, next we have 2 amazing Trailblazer stories in Ticketmaster and Ducati, both who have very inspiring visions for how they're transforming consumer engagement. So we're going to start with Ticketmaster, and to bring that story to life, I'm going to invite my friend, my confidant, probably the world's best product marketer, Megan York, to the stage.
You flatter me, Liam. Hello, Connections! Oh, this is so exciting. My name is Megan, and I want to introduce you to my buddies Dave and Isaac over there in the demo desk. So we are so excited to tell you the story of Ticketmaster. I am a live music junkie, and I can tell you firsthand that Ticketmaster is a marketing trailblazer. They do so many of the things that Liam just talked about. They're listening to what I'm telling them. They use that to understand the things I like, and then they deliver me offers and messages that have truly resulted in some of the most fun and most incredible experiences of my life. And they've been using the core Marketing Cloud products to do that. You'll see in the demo how they use Journey Builder to connect interactions across digital channels and even areas of their business like sales and service. Email Studio, the world's leading email marketing platform. Advertising Studio to amplify their message across social advertising. And then Mobile Studio to reach their customers where they are in the moment through push or SMS. But the marketers at Ticketmaster, they really want to start taking that marketing to the next level, don't we all, right? And they want to lean on data and analytics and real-time interaction management to do that. And I've got some good news. We've got some amazing innovations coming in those areas. The first is our partnership with Google Analytics 360. So if you remember, we made the big announcement out at Dreamforce, and I am thrilled to tell you that we have features live and in product today. In the demo, you'll see a Journey Analytics dashboard there in Journey Builder, where you can see all your email and mobile performance data right alongside all that rich data from Analytics 360. And then coming in July is a first ever integration point where you'll be able to take your audiences from Analytics 360 and activate those in Marketing Cloud for cross-channel journeys. Really excited to show you that. The second announcement is around Interaction Studio, and like Liam said, this is a really, really cool product. Interaction Studio is real-time interaction management. What does that mean? Well, it means we can listen to what your customers are doing in real time, determine the next best action or offer for them, and then deliver that offer in real time across channels. So, don't take my word for how cool these products are. Isaac, let's bring up the Marketing Cloud and start showing everyone. So we've told you that Ticketmaster uses Journey Builder to orchestrate all of those communications across channels. And now in Journey Builder, with just one click of a button, we can pull up that Journey Analytics dashboard. You'll see here all of how we're measuring all of those messages within the journey. And then we're bringing that great data in from Analytics 360 to see how we're working towards those conversion goals we set up. And even information about what people are doing after the click. So Ticketmaster noticed something interesting. They saw that a bunch of people were browsing VIP packages, but they weren't actually purchasing those packages. This is an awesome re-engagement opportunity, right? So they go into Analytics 360 and they create that audience of people who browse VIP but didn't purchase, and they're going to use that as a trigger in Journey Builder. You guys, this is the first time ever that Google has allowed those audiences to be activated outside of the Google platform. Needless to say, we're pretty excited about it. Applause for the Google partnership. But this is not the only reason that this journey is really cool. It's also cool because it uses an Einstein split. So we're going to use artificial intelligence to determine what channel people are most likely to interact in. So if I'm most likely to interact with an email, of course I should receive that email. But what if email's not my thing? Well, then I'm going to go down the path of receiving a push notification or maybe a social ad. Okay, so now we've shown you what this looks like from the marketer's perspective. Let's take a look at the consumer perspective. We're gonna look at my journey with Ticketmaster. True confession moment here. I told you that I love live music. My guilty pleasure is none other than Miss Taylor Swift. Maybe my t-shirt gave it away. So when Taylor releases a new video, it's like a really, really big deal in my house. So my kids and I are on YouTube, we're browsing her latest video, and this great ad pops up. I just told you about my love of Taylor. Ticketmaster has known about it for a really long time. So of course I'm interested here. I click on the ad and I'm taken to my mobile app. So you can see here I had tickets to the show in Indianapolis, but that is not until September. And I was looking at all those pictures on Instagram and I was having FOMO like you would not believe. And so I saw she was gonna be right here in Chicago just a couple of weeks ago. So I click on that show, start browsing around a little bit. I told you I see a lot of live music, become a bit of a seat snob, so I'm looking at those VIP packages. But I'm taking my kids to this one, I think, and I'll tell you, they are jaded enough. So we are just gonna go and purchase some regular tickets this time. So now you've seen how I interacted with Ticketmaster across all of these channels, but how is all that being captured in the Marketing Cloud? That's through Interaction Studio. So let's go ahead and bring up Interaction Studio. I'll orient you to it a little bit. Like we said, the first thing Interaction Studio does is let you capture all that customer behavior in real time. Then it lets you make sense of it. What does that behavior mean as far as a customer's preferences and their intent? Then we can decide which offer each customer should receive, very personalized offer in real time, and deliver that across channels. It also lets us do one more thing. It allows us to visualize how your customers are interacting with you across the life cycle. So here you can see how Ticketmaster could think about their customer lifecycle, all the way from awareness to engagement. Now this canvas is fully customizable here because we know everyone's lifecycle stages are a little bit different. The blue lines at the top are showing us how people progress across those lifecycle stages like we hoped they would. But like Liam said, consumers have the mind of their own. I certainly do. And so that purple line is showing you maybe how customers are bouncing back and forth between lifecycle stages or even maybe dropping out completely. We can also take a deeper look here and see how different touch points match up to those lifecycle stages. So we can see here all of the channels that we have, and we can see where that engagement is really high, and maybe where the engagement is not where we want it to be, or again, where people are dropping out of the process. So that, as marketers, allows us to go in and tweak the messages and tweak the journey so that we keep customers engaged and progressing how we want them to. Okay, so we've seen through these different screens how Ticketmaster could visualize kind of the behavior of their entire customer base. But Interaction Studio also lets us go even one level deeper, looking at individual profiles. So here is my profile in Interaction Studio. You can see Ticketmaster has identified me as a high-value customer. I purchase a lot of tickets. And you can see that they've captured all of those behaviors that you saw me do. I clicked on an ad, browsed in the mobile site, looked at VIP, didn't purchase but purchased regular tickets. All of those digital interactions captured here in Interaction Studio. But what happens about offline interactions? You know, offline interactions are sometimes just as important at marketing moments as all of those online interactions. Well, the cool thing is that Interaction Studio can bring in all of that offline data as well. So let's see what happened when the kids and I go to Soldier Field to the show a couple weeks ago. We walk up to the ticket gate, I get my ticket scanned, and that ticket scan is captured right here in Interaction Studio. And then look what happens. I received a push notification letting me know that we had been upgraded to a VIP package at the show. Needless to say, we were absolutely freaking out. It was awesome. Awesome customer experience. But think about that and all of the awesomeness that's going on behind the scenes in Interaction Studio to make that happen. Ticketmaster knew I was a high-value customer. They knew I was a candidate for that VIP upgrade. They knew I had just gotten to the show. They matched that up with all of the available ticket inventory and then sent me that push notification in real time. You know, I'm a marketer, and if that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. So the kids and I go to the show. You're gonna see our Instagram picture right here. We have an amazing time. So then we get home, and I get my typical Ticketmaster email reminding me I have another show coming up, Imagine Dragons in Indianapolis. And what do you know? There are some VIP offers still available for that show. Well, I'm gonna tell you, when you sit in those VIP seats, it is really hard to go back. So I'm gonna click through, I'm gonna upgrade my package just like Ticketmaster hoped I would. Okay, so what have we seen today? We saw how Journey Builder helped orchestrate all of those interactions across channels, like email, mobile, and advertising. We saw how Ticketmaster marketers could use Google Analytics to get some really great insight into their customers' behavior and then take action on it. And then how they could use Interaction Studio to engage their customers online or offline in those matters that really matter most. That is truly the power of the Marketing Cloud. Thank you guys so much, and back to you, Liam.
Amazing. Thanks, Megan. Isn't that incredible? I think that's amazing. It's one of my favorite products. Now, if I could invite Kat up to the stage. I have Kat Frederick here from Ticketmaster.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining us, Kat. We really appreciate it. Now, I think you're meant to be there, actually. So Ticketmaster, you guys are one of our most progressive customers. You're always continuing to move the state-of-the-art forward. Can you perhaps share a little bit about what your vision is for consumer engagement?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the way that consumers, our fans have experienced Ticketmaster over time has changed so much. As Stephanie Buscemi said yesterday, you used to walk into a Tower Records. And today you have an experience that's evolving from that rush of the on sale to one that is much more identity based as we evolve. And that requires so much more information. It requires us being highly personalized in our experience, making sure that we're getting the right fan, the right ticket at the right time, through the right mediums, the right channels, and the right message. And for us, that's everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we're a little bit biased here at Salesforce. We think the partnership with Google is pretty great. Perhaps you can share a little bit about what excites you about us working together.
And as I said yesterday, it really does come down to the scale at which Ticketmaster executes on its platform. It's 500 million tickets transacted per year. It's 15 tickets per second across 29 countries. And what that requires in order to serve our fans in a truly personalized engagement is data. It is technology. And for us, that's really unlocked that one-to-one conversation. So many signals go into how we have those conversations. And it is really personal. I mean, I'll tell the story about, I have a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, and the way that Megan explained it, as we think about sort of that consumer life cycle, we saw Frozen on ice, of course we did. They're 4 and 5, and they are the best of sisters. But in 10 years, they're going to be going to their Taylor Swift tour, or their Bruno Mars tour, or their Halsey tour, and that progression needs to evolve with the tastes of our fans, and they need to graduate to that. And as marketers, I need to know that they're going to graduate to that.
So you're saying our tastes don't stay the same through our entire lives? Crazy, crazy.
Well, unless you're my husband and you're a hardcore Chicago Bears fan.
Well, I'm a Chicagan, so go Bears.
Exactly.
So thank you so much for joining us, Kat. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now, it's inspiring to see story brands like Ticketmaster continue to challenge their own business model. Now, next, we have the story of Ducati and their next chapter. Now, Isaac, I believe everybody gets a free Ducati at the end of this, right? Okay, everyone goes and speak to Isaac, and he's going to give you a free Ducati at the end of this. Let's roll the video. Beautiful. Now, to tell us the story of Ducati's next chapter, I'd like to invite my friend and the aggressively cheerful VP of Product Marketing, Rob Beck, to the stage.
Thank you, everyone. Hello, Chicago. I look just like the guy in the video, right? No. I am really excited to talk to you about Ducati today. I love anything that's got two wheels and a motor. And so it is truly a passion to be able to share it. If you've known anyone who's owned a Ducati, if you've ever owned a Ducati, you know it's not just a motorcycle. People are truly passionate about the brand. And they get together all the time to talk about it. So how does Ducati make that connection between these true fans and their brand? Well, Ducati uses the Marketing Cloud, and they're a Trailblazer. They use Social Studio to make those connections across social channels. They use Data Studio and the DMP to find those signals that consumers leave online so that they're able to better personalize and reach them. And they use distributed marketing to make the connection between the marketing team and the dealers who truly are the face of the brand of Ducati in the marketplace. So before we roll up our sleeves and show you how Ducati uses the Marketing Cloud, I've got two big announcements to share. Our first announcement is multi-channel audiences. This is all about personalization. It's about taking all those signals that consumers leave online and bring that back to the customer record so that you can better personalize, but not just better personalize advertising, but email, mobile, and beyond. Our second big announcement of the day is Salesforce Social Data Platform. Building on Salesforce's industry-leading social media coverage, it's about taking that and bringing it other places in Salesforce, places like service, the DMP, and beyond, and giving brand new insights on your consumers. So, who's ready to talk about motorcycles? Me? Okay, let's get it. So, true story. After 3 kids, 4 soul-crushing minivans, I am actually back in the market for a bike. True story. And Ducati is actually making bikes for me. This is the market that they're going after. They're going after the market of people like me who are getting back into the game. But how do they reach me? That's the marketing challenge. I haven't been in a dealership in 20 years. There wasn't a marketing database last time I rode a bike. So how do they get me in the dealership? Well, this is where the Marketing Cloud comes in. Let's go take a look. Content is a pillar of Ducati's marketing strategy. You gotta hear the bike, you gotta see the bike to feel it. And then they activate that across channels using the Marketing Cloud. Today, we're gonna start in Social Studio. Social Studio is where they get great insight from that social data on what kind of content's resonating with their consumers and how they can make it better. They can also engage one-to-one with their consumers, but today, Isaac and I are gonna go ahead and we're gonna activate some of that content on Facebook. For Ducati, Facebook is #1 in consumer engagement. It's where you find people like me. We're gonna use a video because you want it to be really rich and you want them to hear and feel that bike, so we're gonna go ahead and get that published. Before we publish this post though, we wanna make sure we do 2 things. First thing, we want to have a great call to action. The second thing we want to do is make sure we have the tracking in place so we'll be able to connect that back to the Marketing Cloud and to the rest of Salesforce. So let's go ahead and do that and get that published. So back to me, when I first started my journey of buying a bike, I followed some of the brands that I was interested in, including Ducati. And as I'm wont to do, I spend a little bit of time on Facebook from time to time. And as I'm scrolling my feed, I see that video that Ducati shared. And I give it a watch, and it kind of excites me. I don't look like the guy, but I certainly could be that guy. So I go ahead and I click the video, and it takes me over to the mobile site. Couple of clicks around the mobile site, boom, something happens. It's Megan calling me. And I don't want to have FOMO, whatever that is, by not answering the phone with Megan. But this is real life for consumers. They don't just find a piece of content, click it, walk into your dealership and buy a bike. They have interruptions and distractions through their day. It's really how it is. So a couple hours later, I get back to Ducati, I'm back at home and I'm on my laptop. I'm browsing the Ducati site, and as I go through the models, I find one that really appeals to me. Oh, my collar's up here. The X Diavel is actually a bike built for folks like me. It's got the style and the performance of Ducati, but in a comfort ride that, frankly, people like me want. So I personalize the bike a bit. I go into the configurator. There's a Model S. It's got all the cool tech that I love. And it comes in a black that's gonna look sweet next to my minivan in the driveway. But it's getting near the end of the night. I close my laptop up and I go off to bed. For marketers, this is how it is. I didn't bring the pajamas today. They didn't come in Ducati brand. But that truly is how marketers do it. How do marketers make that connection between people who are cross-device over time, and they're probably not logged in? How do they make that connection? Well, they use multi-channel audiences powered by the DMP to do that. Let's go take a look. So here we have all the data that's coming in through these interactions. This is data on the volume, the velocity, and where that data is coming from. But also, Liam mentioned at the beginning, it's about consumer rights and privacy. So the new Salesforce Consumer Rights Management dashboard helps marketers like Ducati manage that in the way their consumers want to. For Ducati, that's just good marketing. So let's go ahead and do something with our folks that have interacted with our brands. So let's go create a segment. Our segments can have two attributes. First, they came from Facebook. Remember, we put that tracking in place. We want to be able to make that connection. And second, they configured the XDiavel S in black. We're going to call this segment the XDiavel Explorers. That sounds like a good one. Let's give that a name. And we're going to go ahead and activate that. That's going to take this data back to the customer records of people we already know. And we'll be able to personalize all those interactions in the future with them with this information. What about the rest of them? What about me that they have no data on and no record on? Well, they want to find more about me, and this is where Data Studio comes in. Data Studio brings outside data to enrich this segment and tell us more. But I want help. I want to know a little bit more. We're going to run Einstein segmentation, and Einstein segmentation is going to use trillions of data points to tell us more about these XDiavel Explorers. I see there's one persona that really stands out. And if we explore that a bit, let's go take a look. You see that there's something kind of surprising there. Not only do we love these bikes, but we love beach holidays and planning beach trips. I would have never have guessed that. I would have thought gearheads, tech nerds, guys who buy sweatshirts. And so we go ahead and we activate that with some rich advertising to be able to reach them. So fast forward to me. I must be having a light week at work, and I'm spending a bit of time on some of my favorite sites, and I'm on Travel and Leisure, and I see that ad for that XDiavel. It's the exact model I look for in the exact color, gets my attention. I click and head over to the Ducati mobile site. After a couple clicks, something happens. The Ducati customer relations team reaches out with a chat. Remember, Liam talked about this. That's that two-way interaction that consumers want today. They ask if I need some help. I said, yeah, I think I'm ready to make that step. And I go ahead and give them some information. They say, hey, they'll be in touch. Fast forward a bit later in the day, I pop into my inbox, and I see a message, not just from Ducati, but from the local dealership here in Chicago, reaching out to me. And there's two things that are really cool about this message. First, it's the exact bike that's been configured for me for my preferences and for what I've looked at. This is multi-channel audiences at work. Amazing. But if you look down a little bit in the email, you see there's a personal email from the actual dealer. Not only telling me how to get into the dealer, but making some suggestions on how to come in, when to come in for a test drive. This is Salesforce distributed marketing at work. It took all that data and all that personalization that the marketing team knew and let the dealer activate it with that personal touch. An amazing customer experience. So we looked at this. Let's take a look at what we saw. The social data platform gave us the insights to create great content. Social Studio let us publish to Facebook with the tracking to connect it together. Multi-channel audiences took all those online signals and let us personalize not only advertising, but email and messaging and beyond. The DMP and Data Studio gave us an insight we would have never found without it. And then we connected that dealer experience with the marketing experience using distributed marketing. So hey, what happened when I went to the dealership? Any guesses? Let's find out.
Hey, Connections. Well, I finally got into that dealership, and I think my day's looking pretty good. Catch you next year, Connections.
Mike, Rob. And that is the power of bringing all that digital signal and coupling it with the human interface of Ducati's brand, the dealer. Now, hopefully you've all seen some innovation to excite and inspire you today. If you'd like to learn where Mary Meeker gets her data from, text ads to 38767 and you'll get our Digital Advertising 2020 report. If you'd like to know more about Salesforce and Marketing Cloud, go to trailhead.com, get those badges. Our next big learning event is Dreamforce, little event in San Francisco in a couple of months' time. Please join us there. Thank you very much. Now, for those of you who are leaving, we have one giveaway as well. So for those, thanks to our partners with Ticketmaster, we have 10 $500 gift cards for all of you. Sorry for those online. If all you need to go is to sforce.co/marketing on your phone, not on your laptop, and scratch to win. That's it. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Have an amazing day. Thank you.
won't tell me that you come meet me in the afternoon. Oh, it's your heart. You got it, so you might as well know. So I know you're never gonna be with me, but do you understand that the baby you got it right first time? I realize that you may believe that every now and then even you could get it right first time. I know you think I gotta be joking, and if you touch him again, then I'm going. You got it right first time. You get it right first time. Always be together, 'cause he gets you up in leather. And you know what to wear at the end of the day. And I'd laugh if I saw that I'm out of the way. Yeah, it's too long ago, shouldn't care anymore. But I wanted to know, is it as good as before? Yeah, it's hard to believe that you go for that stuff. All those baby doll 90s synthetic fluff. Oh, it looks pretty good. Yeah, it fits you okay, yeah. Wear your pink glove, babe. You put it on the runway.
Stance has made socks sexy, and we're here to tell their story today. And with me to tell that story is one of the titans of the digital commerce era, Paul Zengel, the EVP of Direct-to-Consumer at Stance. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rick. Good to be here.
And I'm gonna guess that you're on brand today. You got the socks going today?
Oh, absolutely. I got my Johnny Cash going right here.
Nice.
What do you got?
I got the classics here. I think that's a good look for me. That's very good. So we saw a little bit about Stance in the open. What else can you tell the audience about Stance?
I mean, in a nutshell, Stance was started 8 years ago to disrupt the sock world. You know, there had really not been a great quality, great brand in the sock world. And then 3 years ago, we got into underwear, and we're growing fast and having fun.
It's been a fun ride to watch you guys, but in particular, last week you made some big news. You sprinted ahead of the pack to launch in-store self-checkout. Talk about that and what it's meant for the shopper, what it means for the shopper.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I love the idea. I love the product. I've thought self-checkout is a long time coming, but what changed recently is the ability to access the camera from a browser. And so previously, retailers had to do it through expensive devices like grocery stores and home improvement, or through apps. And there's just a huge barrier for the consumer to download an app for every retailer. So we think this is the future. We would love to see other people do it, because if other people do, other retailers do, then it'll change consumer behavior. We're 2 weeks out of the gate, and it's fun to watch that when consumers discover it, and the utility of it and how fast it can be. And I mean, it essentially means never wait in a line ever again in a Stance store.
Yeah, and that waiting in line bit feels archaic already. Were there detractors saying, no, let's keep them in line? Did you have that in the business case and rationale if you were launching this? Did you have detractors you need to speak to?
No, not at all. You know, the less time they spend in line, the more time they spend in the store, or they're on with their day, right? And our lives are fast now, and convenience is key. And then from our team's perspective, the less that they're standing behind the cash register, the more time they can spend on the floor with our guests.
Super.
Yeah.
I realize it's early days. Any learning so far?
We're excited about it. You know, we think that we're definitely in it for the long haul. Like, it's staying in our stores. And over time, I know usage will increase. We're seeing some really great results out of the gate, but we'll see. You know, over time, I want to get through like a holiday period. We had 30 to 40-minute lines in some of our stores this holiday, and that's not okay no matter what, but we know this can help us avoid that.
Yeah. And to finish off the shopper experience, they're paying generally with a mobile wallet, right? Is that the primary purpose they're trying to get into?
Yeah, you know, it's a 4 or 5 step process. We tried to eliminate as many keystrokes and as many taps as we could. So, you know, Apple Pay, GPay, thumbprint, facial recognition is by far the fastest way to go. But we made it so you could pay with a credit card too.
Yep.
But yeah, the mobile wallet's going to be the killer app in that case.
Yeah, no, we see mobile wallets up to 30% of mobile orders, so the future's there.
Yeah.
It's easy, you're eliminating friction all around,
Yeah.
so really, really well done. But you've also done something else. Last fall, you launched a subscription service. Talk about the subscription service.
Sure. You know, we've all seen the rise in subscription commerce, and I don't know that it's right for every brand or every product. We felt like with socks and underwear, it definitely was, and we've had a great response so far. You know, it's been around 15% of our business in the first full quarter that it's been running, which I think is great out of the gate. It's only been live for about 7 months. Still learning. We're still learning about the customer. What did they used to spend and what do they spend now? The product selection. One of the things we really like about ours and what we think makes it somewhat unique is that we let the guest choose the product that comes in their box. So it's not a surprise thing. They can actually come in, and 83% of people actually make that choice. So we give them a little alert, they come in, they pick their product. It's just, you know, we call it style on repeat. And they've really responded to that piece.
That's fantastic. My nephew, I gifted my nephew a subscription.
Nice.
He's loving it.
Good.
It's fantastic.
Good.
He's on the bandwagon now. Made a fan.
Good.
So, other growth initiatives. What's next for you guys? Your direct-to-consumer, digital retail. Where's the growth going to come from?
Yeah. Stance is, you know, completely multi-channel, wholesale, retail, e-commerce. And we're, you know, growing on all fronts right now. One thing that particularly we're going after this year is stores.
Yeah.
So it took us 3 years to build a few stores, and now we think we've got like our cadence and our strategy there. And so we're doubling our store count this year. We're adding 6 stores between now and the end of the year. So that's big for us, and it's big for us just in terms of growing brand awareness. So that's probably the number one growth piece that I'm excited about right now.
Yeah, and one story you told a couple months back was you had launched AI onto the digital shopping experience, and you told a story about on the product detail page, I think it was a Biggie sock you had, and Tupac showed up in there. Can you just tell a little bit of that story and how that came about with AI?
You trying to put me on video talking about the Biggie Tupac feud? Video lives forever.
It's coming all out now. It's coming back.
Yeah, that was a fun story. So it's super simple, right? Recommendation engine drives, you know, just through machine learning what socks show up in the we also recommend section. You may also like, and so it was funny for us to watch on the Tupac page. There's Biggie down there. So. There's definitely, synergy and fans of both.
I feel like AI is just bringing those factions together. It's actually unifying the experience.
It's interesting to see, some unexpected learnings.
It's fantastic. So we like to play a game on this show. The game we play is called Buzz or Bust. It comes complete with a game card. I'm gonna hand you your game card. Here you go. So there are 2 sides to this game card. One is Buzz, one is Bust. So if you buy it, if you're on board and you think it works, Buzz.
All right, All right.
If not, bust.
All right, bring it.
3 topics for today, and we encourage folks at home, feel free to play along with us. Topic 1.
Yes.
Influencer marketing, buzz or bust?
Oh, big buzz. Big buzz on influencer marketing. Yeah. It's been cool for me to watch how Stance was built with influencers. Everyone from, Rihanna was in our New York store last week.
Yeah.
We've got James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, lots of athletes, entertainers. We call them punks and poets, and they are our influencers. So 100% buzz.
And I'm a big buzz. You've heard from me before. I love the collab model. I think it just brings what you've done with some of the other kind of peer brands out there is fantastic. That settles right into influencer marketing. So strong buzz here.
Strong buzz. And in terms of, the audience, when they hear influencer marketing, they're probably thinking more micro influencers and stuff like that. Yeah, we're in there too. Not as much as we are with our big influencers, but yeah, it's working.
That's fantastic. So buzz or bust number 2, and feel free again, play along at home. The use of customized products, buzz or bust?
Man, all right, I'm gonna say bust, but that comes with a big caveat. We actually launched a custom program called Canvas, and we closed it down.
Yep.
And it was really cool. It was essentially like an inkjet printer, printing on socks. We closed it down. It's labor intensive. It's hard to get scale. I wouldn't say that in general customization is a bust. There's lots of companies that do it really well.
Yep.
I just bought custom Converse for my son in their Soho store this week, and it was a really cool experience. So for us, a bust, but there's companies that do it great, and it works for their product.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you can tell us that from having done it. You tried this out. It is a supply chain nightmare to get started. I'm a buzz because I think this is a great model for folks, so you gotta test it out.
Yeah.
You'd never know if not, and I think it's a cool approach that you took. So glad you get the learnings to get in there.
There you go.
Last buzz or bust?
All right, it's fun.
I feel like I know the answer to this. All right, so there's been so much discussion around in-store mobile tech that satisfies the actual associate or the employee. In-store mobile tech for the shopper. I know where you're going in this one, but
oh yeah, I mean,
strong buzz.
We just went big on it, so I got to go buzz. It just has to be. It has to serve a purpose. It has to add value. It has to add convenience, speed, information. So I think there's a long runway that we'll see in this, but there's also plenty of gimmicky things that I don't know that fall on deaf ears. I think for the guests.
Yeah, and I agree. I'm a buzz here. One of the main reasons I'm a buzz is we know that shoppers are using their phones when they're in a store. You don't bring your laptop in a store and start researching. You're not a tablet. The phone is the in-store technology. Everybody walks in with it. We actually see that 72% of shoppers use it. The role of the retailer is how do you enable that particular shopper to actually use their device to create a better experience? You've done that with the in-store self-checkout to actually take that utility on. I think there's a lot more green space that we'll see in the coming years. Innovation will pop.
Yeah. Someone once said that the smartphone is the glue between the physical and digital world, and I just love that. I love that statement. And we've started to think of this thing that we've launched as the store is essentially a rich e-commerce shopping environment, but they're using e-commerce to check out. So it's a good mix.
Fantastic. Paul, this was fantastic. Thanks for joining us today.
Of course.
To everyone else, thanks for joining us on Retail Reality Check. Happy trails, guys.
Vibrations in the brain can't ever be
Welcome to Salesforce Live at Connections. I'm here with Chris Amoni, co-founder and CTO of Muse, and Jackie Cooper, EVP of Sales and Marketing at Muse. Thank you both so much for being with me.
Yeah,
Thank you. So let's start at the very beginning here. Chris, what is Muse?
I feel like these are big loaded questions. So Muse is it's actually a brain sensing technology. It's pretty simple. You wear it across your forehead and behind your ears. And what this does is it picks up your mental activity so you can learn more about yourself. We use it primarily to help people develop mindfulness. But it's based on an EEG, which is electroencephalography, an old technology, but actually quite sophisticated in picking up the electrical activity of your brain.
So how does it guide people through mindfulness? What's the process of using Muse?
So in a mindfulness practice, it's quite simple. What you're doing is you're paying attention to sensations in the moment. And what Muse does is pick up the fluctuations in that mental activity. And you can see through that, is the attention stable or is it jumping around? So when we enter into discursive thought, our attention jumps around from thought to thought. We detect those kind of disturbances in someone's brain waves. And then we feed that information back to you through sound. We use a very simple metaphor, usually it's weather. So what you'll do is, as you're meditating, you'll hear the sound of rain, for example, and that rain is you. So you become the rain. And when the rain becomes more intense, this means that your mind has become more active, you become more distracted, and what you're trying to do is calm the rains down as a practice.
So what happens when you're calm and you're centered?
Calm and centered, the rain dies down, things become very tranquil, and then you'll hear the sound of birds. The birds are there as a reward to let you know that you're really dialed in.
So I tried this yesterday,
Yeah.
and it's a practice. You don't just go in and try it for your first time and hear the birds. I heard birds once, and I was pretty proud of myself. What is the goal, the ultimate goal for someone practicing mindfulness?
Well, I would say in many ways the practice of meditation is really about developing attention. Okay, and that's just the ability to rest the mind on something you deem to be important and not have it wander off on you. And so it's a practice because that ability is something that takes cultivation. So I'd say one issue with how we live with technology is we're constantly being pulled away. And unless we're engaging in the practice of continually coming back, we actually lose that ability to center ourselves, center our focus on something and not get distracted. And so the practice is developing that skill just like you would go to the gym and develop strength through exercise. Same idea. So yeah, in the beginning, you may not get very many birds.
I was proud of my one bird. This is a very interesting practice, but how did it come to be? What is your background that you were able to found this company?
Yeah, so like many startup stories, it's a long story. And often you don't begin doing the thing that you end up with ultimately providing value to people. So in the beginning, we were just super interested in creating technology that could extend our human abilities. And this was about augmentation, right? So how can we add technology to ourselves to become more than what we are? And I think that, we can all relate to things like that now where that already exists and is true for us. The search engine's a great example of that. We remember things now not by remembering the things, but the process of actually looking for it. And we use technology to help us.
And people like me no longer have a sense of direction because we live off of maps
right.
on your phone.
Yeah, there are some serious consequences. And this is what we learned through this journey. So we were using brain sensing technology as a way to help a computer system understand what's happening for you so it could serve you better. So if you're walking around with an augmented technological skin, I don't know, that's one way of thinking about it, it's like it's being a cyborg. So how does that assistive technology know what you need? And the brain sensing was part of that. The other aspect was this idea that we could directly through our minds connect with technology, and not have to use fingers or words, but rather connect directly through our minds. So this is where we started, and where we ended up is much different than that. And it really just came through this realization that there is a consequence to how we relate to and use our technology. And what we were really interested in is that deeper human experience and feeling more fulfilled and happy and balanced. And technology, in many ways, our explorations with it just took us away from that ultimate goal. So there was a shift in our hearts, and it just came from that personal realization of what was important. to us as human beings, and our technology consequently took a turn along with that.
That's amazing. It's really cool that you were able to express yourself as a human and find a way to use technology to make yourself better and not just use it to become a cyborg.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that as we progress with more sophisticated technology, especially with artificial intelligence, I think it's going to become more and more important that we can tune into ourselves and understand, what's really important for us, what's true for us, and how can we honor that? Because otherwise, we just get carried off by the next shiny thing, which ultimately is perhaps not what we're looking for. And that's what causes stress. It's this misalignment between who we are deeply and where the world is pulling us, and the stories that we tell ourselves.
Well, you have an incredible EVP of sales and marketing who is pulled towards you and pulled towards the practice of mindfulness, and also has really interesting stories yourself. Jackie, thank you so much again for being with us.
Thank you.
But before we get into your personal story, I'd love to hear, how is Muse utilizing Salesforce?
So working with Chris and all of the founders, we have this incredible product that's changing people's lives. So not only is it an actual headband, but there's an application that we download. And we're asking people to enter into a practice, not use it once, but really go and enhance their lives. So finding a platform that really allowed us to engage in the customer journey, find people that were seeking meditation or knew meditation was something that was going to help them, bring them into Muse, either through our websites or our retail partnerships, but engage with them afterwards, making sure they're downloading the app, that they're using the application. So we really needed to find a platform that could really engage the customer journey all the way through. So Salesforce was our choice. We started out with Sales Cloud. We're now using Einstein. We're using Service Cloud, so we migrated all of our customer service to Service Cloud, and everything is integrated. We can tell when a customer bought, when they downloaded the app. We can help them send encouraging emails if they've called in, if they have issues. It's now integrated across our applications, our app developers, and our dev teams, and it's really been a phenomenal way for us to really look at how we can improve our application to make these journeys better. We've created this amazing technology. We need to really listen to our customers and what they're telling us, because we want to be really customer focused. But just amazing stories, like we had an intern that came in this summer, did a couple of trailheads, and now has all of our neuroscience researchers in Salesforce. We're now tracking, how we're using our research relationships, because the second problem that we've solved that Chris hasn't mentioned is not only are we helping people meditate, we are now doing brain research on thousands and thousands of people because of the portability of the device and the fact that it's EEG. So people like NASA, Mayo, Harvard, and their relationships, just like we have sales relationships. So it's been incredible, and we're just really starting what we can do with the data that we're collecting and really creating some intelligent decisions around it. So it's been amazing.
It really is, and I'd like to say that your intern that did some trailhead and was able to institute Salesforce for your researchers, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's something that makes us warm and fuzzy inside here.
Yeah, and these are our science our science relationships. They're just as important as our customers too, because they're going to help us again develop the product and really implement Muse.
So not only are you using Salesforce, but you are engaging in our customers and our event attendees. What do you have going on here at Connections?
We have this amazing activation. We are hosting the mindfulness room, so a place that people can come to and get solace, but we're actually doing Muse demos. So people are coming in and they're coming again and again actually to try the technology. And so you can come down, it's on the first floor, and drop in and try Muse. Also, Chris and his team also created a campfire experience, which goes so well with this theming here. Right. And it actually, not only do you have the auditory experience of Muse, but you get this amazing visualization of it through these nanoleaf light tiles. So you're actually turning on and off the lights using the headband. And Campfire was just delivered here from Chicago, from the G7 Summit in Charlevoix.
No big deal.
Where we entertained the press. So people love the experience. Not only are they hearing the birds, but we're able to visualize it for it through the nanoleaf tile. So again, another startup that we've been working with to really help bring this practice to people.
So one of my favorite things about Salesforce is that we really have a focus on diversity, equality, and inclusion. And we were just talking about having a company that's Toronto-based. You have that built into your DNA, and that actually helps you serve your customers better. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's really a blessing to be in a place like Toronto where there is such cultural diversity. And I think it really, if you're looking to create experience to help people return to what's true for them, you really have to be sensitive to the diversity between people, and to have so many perspectives being represented at the company in the city is beautiful. Because it challenges you. It challenges you to really to think, where do I come from, and how does that shape how I see the world, and to recognize that it's different from somebody else, from a different country, different culture. And I think in Canada there is, it's in our DNA to really, connect with people for who they are,
Right.
and to honor that. So I think it's a beautiful place to be.
We've talked about how Muse is really helping people evolve and find their true selves. And I was talking with you before, Jackie, that you were at another large company implementing Salesforce back in 2009, and Muse, not just being an executive at this company, but being a customer of the product, has changed your life.
It's absolutely, changed my life in many ways. I was 12 years with a very large Canadian company. I had a global job. I was traveling all over the world. I had lots of stress. I barely had any memory of my children's early days because it was this go, go, go environment. And, coming to a company like this allows you to see that you can find happiness, you can take a practice. Not only have I become more mindful, I realized that, it's not just physical, it's mental, because the brain tells the body what to do, and if you don't take care of it,
right.
You're not really taking care of your entire health. And so we really, as Chris says, we practice what we preach, we meditate together, we use our product, we do the challenges, and it just really makes us more engaged and really resilient. And now we know why users are coming to us, why the clinicians and practitioner communities are referring our product, why corporations are setting up mindfulness rooms, because really the brain is the basis of everything. And until you realize that, you won't have this smile every day, right, when you get to work.
Well, thank you both so much. It's really an incredible program. And we can't wait to see what you do with all the incredible information that you're gathering, making the world a better place.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
you all for tuning in. Salesforce Live at Connections. Stay tuned for more great content.
Like a swan, grace on the water, lips like sugar, lips like sugar. Just when you think you've caught her, she glides across the water. She calls for you tonight to share this moonlight. Just when you think she's yours, she's flown to other shores to laugh at how you break and melt into this lake and flow next to him, alone on the river, mirror kissing, mirror kissing.
Welcome to Salesforce Live at Connections. I'm Marissa Cranis, and I'm here with Allison McElhaney and Karen Flores, two of the people that make this whole event happen. Thank you both so much for making the time to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I'd like to say that already this has been an event for the books, our first official Connections in this form.
Is it really the first official Connections?
I'd love to start with that conversation.
That
So,
is.
again, first official Connections in this form. What does that actually mean? What is Connections? How has it evolved into what it is today?
Well, Connections is today the digital marketing, commerce, and customer service event of the year. But as we mentioned, Connections has actually been around at Salesforce for quite a while. It came through us first from the acquisition of ExactTarget, which is now the Marketing Cloud. And Connections was an event that was loved by our customers. We're so excited to bring it back, but it has evolved, as you've mentioned. So in addition to the former Connections event, we've also brought together under this roof the former Demandware Exchange Conference, which I've worked on for many years now, as well as the Crux Data Matters event, bringing them all together and more to create this amazing event in Chicago.
So now, instead of having Exchange, having Data Matters, and having a separate Connections, we now have Commerce Cloud, Marketing Cloud, and DMP all under one roof at Connections here today.
We do.
Plus the full offerings of Salesforce. Do you know what I think it is, Marissa?
What is it?
A little bit of a family reunion.
Oh!
It's our Ohana.
Well, I'd like to get into this a little bit. Allison, you have been part of the Demandware, now Commerce Cloud family for how long?
I've been just about 7 years now.
Wow, but is this the first time you've led an event for Salesforce?
Not the first, but this is the first Connections event that I have run, and it's super exciting to bring everybody together. There's so many old familiar faces as well from the Exchange events that are here. So many members of our partner community have come back, but it's also great to meet so many new members of the Ohana as well and bring everybody together here in Chicago.
So why did we make this choice to have this be one event? How do these products and these opportunities that are coming together at Connections really make sense for an attendee?
I think there's a couple of different things. I think that We've been able to take some of, I think, the interesting aspects of from ExactTarget, from Demandware. I worked on Exchange with Allison and their team and bring it together with the full service offering of Salesforce. So for example, when you're at Connections, you're going to see our full breadth of products and industries being represented here. So I think we sort of took the best of each of these and created something new and special with new service offerings, speaking to digital marketers, speaking to service professionals, kind of just something really different and new. You can of course come and experience the wow of Dreamforce, the hugeness, but I think this, sort of not unlike Trailhead DX, allows you to go a couple levels deeper and network and really be with your community.
That's awesome. All right, so why Chicago? Why are we here in Chicago?
Well, Marissa,
I mean,
who doesn't love Chicago,
right? The deep dish
I mean, that's
pizza.
why I'm here.
Because this is one of our second homes, right? We have a huge headquarters here. We have a large customer base. This is a great industries hub. Chicago really made sense for us, and I think when you look around and see the numbers that we've generated, it's pretty much a big go for Chicago.
It's also a great hub. We have so many attendees here who have come from all over the world to join us at Connections. So it's a great location, really folks from across the US and the world. It's a great location for them to get to and just a beautiful city to experience.
It is, and as you noted, great food.
Great food.
I definitely gave myself a break from the diet while I'm here to just really enjoy all of the chop shops and all the
Heck
pizza.
yeah.
So that's really a lot of fun. So for you so far, what have the highlights been?
I have to say, the opening keynote yesterday, the Women's Equality Trailblazer series with Lucy Liu, she was so inspirational. It was a great way to open up the event. We were talking about equality, talking about empowerment. It really just made me personally so inspired to be here and feel lucky that I got the opportunity to see her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That was something new for us, and we're really working on this Women's Equality Trailblazer series, working with the Office of Equality, so that was pretty great. I love our campground and this expo. This to me is sort of the heart of Connections. You get the partner community, you get to be part of Salesforce Live, you get to experience the full power of Salesforce, Trailhead. And actually just recently, Allison and I got to attend one of the thought leadership sessions around sustainability with Adrian Grenier. And he's really doing a lot of interesting work around plastics in the ocean and what we can do as individuals. They have a campaign called Stop Sucking, of really trying to eliminate the use of straws and really the overuse of straws. And I think that's really what I like about that is that's sort of a best practice from Dreamforce. You can come to Connections and deep dive into Sales Cloud and Quip and Marketing Cloud, but you can also immerse your stuff around different thought leadership and why the business of business is to improve the state of the world and learn other things. Open your mind a little.
So one of the things that really comes to mind with that is that Salesforce has these core values, and we utilize that to build our events and really showcase our core values. How does that work in programming thought leadership sessions or even looking at how we are putting together the campground?
Well, in addition to some of the equality items Karen just mentioned, which is a huge value for us here at Salesforce and definitely something that we're thinking about a lot at Connections, we also always look for opportunities to give back during these events.
Right.
So we actually had an activation right here in our expo earlier today. It will be going on again tomorrow, where we are building summer kits for kids through an organization called City Kids Camp. It's based here in Chicago. We're so excited about this opportunity to give back to the local community here in Chicago. In addition to that, we also had a group of students come and perform. It's an organization called Little Kids Rock. They actually closed out our keynote today. They were absolutely amazing. They performed a song by The Killers, which is going to be another exciting element of the event later tonight.
Yeah, so we're building in all of these core elements, equality, giving back,
sustainability.
What about the product elements? How are we choosing where to dig in, and how are we really shining a light on the amazing product announcements we have? Look around you.
What a perfect place to answer this. I mean, I think, of course, it's in the heart of our Salesforce campground, where, as I mentioned, you can really learn about our full product offerings. I think you saw Stephanie talking about our relationship with Google and Google Analytics. We have a really awesome Google activation right outside here, which I would encourage everybody to stop by so you can really see the full power of Salesforce and Google. But beyond our sessions, beyond our content, to me, it's again right here in sort of the heart of Connections, where you can come get hands-on, not only with us, not only with our experts, but with our partner community in this ecosystem, which, you know, we work hand in hand together with.
Let's talk about that. We have an amazing ohana of partners that are here. We couldn't do this without our sponsors.
Yeah, a huge thank you to our sponsors. We are so excited to have so many members of our partner ecosystem here with us. They're such an important part of our ohana. Yes.
Yeah, Dentsu, and also a huge shout out to Deloitte Digital, who's not only obviously a great business partner, but really signed on as our equality partner. You've seen them in sessions, so I think they are just another perfect example of a partner who is walking side by side with us and living their values and helping us promote our values that are shared values.
I've talked to a few partners who have just been so excited that Connections is back. These are partners like DEG who have not only been going to Connections for years, but also been going to Exchange for years as well.
Yeah.
And so they find this event to be kind of the amazing thing that we want it to be.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, it's so great to see so many partners back again. We really appreciate all of their support and partnership in bringing this event to life.
We couldn't do it without them.
We could not.
Well, we really couldn't do it without you two. What are you most excited to do when this event is over?
Go outside and get some sunshine.
Yes, yes. We are excited to explore the city of Chicago, the beautiful city.
Well, thank you both so much for everything you do. You've done an incredible job on an amazing conference, and I can't wait to do it again next year. Can we say when it's happening next year?
I think we can say that Connections will most likely be in Chicago again next year. Maybe around this time of year.
More to come soon.
More to come. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you both again.
Thanks, Marissa.
Thank you all for tuning in to Salesforce Live at Connections. Stay tuned for more great content and look for those dates for next year to make sure you can attend.